Assalamu alaikum, everybody. This is Afzal Usmani, President of Aligarh Alumni Association of Washington, D.C.
Walaikum assalam.
To begin the program, as per the rich tradition of Aligarh Muslim University, we'll begin the program with the recitation of Holy Quran. And for that, I will request my teacher and one of our good friend, Professor Sufyan Beg Saab, to please come on the stage and start the program with the recitation of Holy Quran. Professor Sufyan Beg Saab.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن في خلق السماوات والأرض واختلاف الليل والنهار لآيات لأولي الألباب الذين يذكرون الله قياما وقعودا وعلى جنوبهم ويتفكرون في خلق السماوات والأرض ربنا ما خلقت هذا باطلا سبحانك فقنا عذاب النار صدق الله العظيم. Indeed, in the creation of the heavens and the earth and the alternation of the day and night, there are signs for people of reason. They are those who remember Allah while standing, sitting, and lying on their sides, and reflect on the creation of the heavens and the earth, and pray, Our Lord, you have not created all of this without purpose. Glory be to you. Protect us from the torment of the fire. Sadaqallahul Azim.
Thank you, Professor Sufyan Beg Saab. And before starting the program, I would like to request Professor Hakim Sayyidul Rahman Saab, who is also presently honorary treasurer of Aligarh Muslim University and a very senior retired faculty member, to preside this function. And I will request Sayyid Saab to please accept our recommendation. Thank you. On behalf of Aligarh Alumni Association, Washington, D.C., I would like to welcome you all from across the globe and people who are watching on Facebook and Zoom and wherever they are watching. I'd like to welcome you all. This, as we all know, that we have entered into the 100th year of establishment of Aligarh Muslim University as a university, not as an institution, because the institution was established in 1875. But in 1920, that AMU College became the Aligarh Muslim University. So year 2020 is completing 100 years of its establishment as a university. Of course, I don't have to introduce Aligarh Muslim University, or doesn't need to talk about anything that we all know. And I'm thankful to Vice Chancellor Sahab, Professor Tariq Mansoor Sahab, who is here to address us, Professor Hakim Sayyidul Rahman Sahab, Professor A.R. Qadhi Sahab, and all other senior Aligarhians, non-Aligarhians, and well-wishers of Aligarh Muslim University and the fraternity. Of course, because of the corona pandemic, we are doing this event on Facebook and virtually. Otherwise, we had a plan to do some physical event in Washington, D.C. area. And of course, a lot of other organizations have plans, similar plans. But because of the pandemic, we are doing virtually. So, but anyway, whatever we have, we are doing it. So this is, as per our plan, Aligarh Alumni Association, Washington, D.C., will be celebrating this centennial celebration for over a month. Starting from today, we'll go till December. So every Saturday, same time, we'll have some kind of event like AMU's contribution. Next week, we have AMU's contribution in science, similarly sports, arts, and culture, and different programs we have planned. So we'll be sending the flyers and information to you, and we'll request you all to join for those celebrations. Of course, this is the best mode right now, so we are doing that. So I'll not take much time to basically start the program. Before moving forward to our event, so as you have seen the program, today's event has two sessions. First is this is the inaugural function of the Centennial Celebration. We have a second session where we will be talking about Aligarh movement around the globe, and we have a Dastan Goi. We have Javed Danish among us, who is a League 2, so he will present a Dastan. And once again, before moving forward, I got a message from a very senior league that one of our senior league, Abdullah Khan Sahab, died in Dubai. He was a very senior league. His brother, Dr. Ashraf Khan, is based in Boston. He's also in a league. And his sister, Rehana Khan, who was the founding president of Aligarh Alumni Association of Arizona. She is the younger sister. So we, of course, we grieve to the sad demise, and we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to have mercy on him and grant him highest place in Jannah and give grief to the family. So after that, I will request, I think Asif Farooqi Sahab is here. I'm just checking. We were thinking that Sayyidina, our beloved Chancellor Sayyidina Mufaddal Sahab will be here, but because of his personal prior engagements, he was unable to make it to the event. So I will request his official representative to AMU Court, Mr. Asif Farooqi Sahab, to please present his message. Asif Farooqi Sahab is an entrepreneur and a social activist based in Bombay. And for last 2 terms, he is serving in the AMU Court as a representative of our Chancellor Sayyidina Mufaddal Sahab. Asif Farooqi Sahab. Is here? I don't know. Asif Bhai is not here. Okay, looks like he's not connected somehow. So let me read the message of. Sorry for this. I will share the screen. This is the message. You see the screen? So this is a message came from Sayyidina Mufaddal Saifuddin Sahab, who is presently second term Chancellor of Aligarh Muslim University. So, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Congratulations to you and the Washington DC Aligarh Alumni Association on the university's upcoming centenary. This momentous milestone is a matter of pride, not just for AMU's faculty, students, and alumni, but for Islamic centers of learning the world over. As a Chancellor of Aligarh Muslim University, I am gratified upon learning of your efforts in furthering the values and principles propounded by Sir Syed Ahmad Khan and embodied in the philosophy of education at AMU. The Nabi Muhammad SAW has emphasized the critical importance of seeking an education and has urged us to prefer for other what we prefer for ourselves. Your contributions to helping the underprivileged are a reflection of these invaluable teachings. I pray for the members of the association and hope that they continue to serve the noble cause of enlightening minds with humility and dedication. May Allah Ta'ala bless you with His mercy and surround you with His benevolence and protection. With prayers and benedictions, Sayyidina Mufaddal Saifuddin, Chancellor Aligarh Muslim University. Thank you for the message from Chancellor Sahab. And after that, I'll move on and I will request our Board of Trustee Chairman, Mr. Masood Farshori Sahab, to please come on the stage and say a few words about the Aligarh Alumni Association, Washington, D.C. Masood Farshori Sahab.
Yeah, Afzal. My name is Masood Farshori. Hello, everyone. So the Aligarh Alumni Association, Washington, D.C. was founded on May 24th, 1975, more than 45 years ago. Coincidentally, that happened to be the 100th anniversary of the founding of the Madrasatul Ulum by Sir Syed Ahmad Khan in Aligarh on May 24th, 1875. And we are the oldest continuously functioning association in North America. We also have a privilege of planting the seed of the Aligarh movement on the soil of the continent.
I will request everyone, if you are not speaker, please mute yourself so that we have minimum disturbance. Thank you very much.
Shukriya. So here's an interesting fact that we are the first association around the world to adopt the name alumni to eliminate the gender bias. And I'm also happy to report that this name, the alumni, has now been adopted by many of the Aligarh associations around the globe today. Another tradition of annual Sir Said Day Mushaira was first established by the Aligarh Alumni Association of Washington, D.C. in North America.
Name ने भी भेजा को बाइडेन की elect हो गया है. Name ने भी भेजा.
भाई साहब आप म्यूट कर ले.
भाई साहब म्यूट नहीं है.
भाई
भाई साहब
चलिए.
म्यूट ही नहीं है. बाप रे बाप.
Akbar, you have a control. Can you please mute everyone except myself? So let me reiterate that the Sir Said Day Mushaira was established in North America by our Alumni Association. And this year we celebrated our 45th annual Sir Said Day Mushaira. And as expected, it was a grand success and attended by legendary poets of world fame like Javed Akhtar Sahab, Munibur Rahman Sahab, Amjad Islam Amjad Sahab, Mohtarma Zahra Nigah, Professor Pirzada Qasim, and Iftikhar Arif Sahab. And I'm glad to report that over 25 organizations around the world, including many Aligarh alumni associations, joined hands in our first ever virtual Mushaira this year. And thousands of viewers all over the world watched this event online, live on 2 different platforms simultaneously. And by the way, that recording of Mushaira is now available on our Facebook page and the YouTube channels. You can watch it anytime with friends and family and as many times you wish. Also in 1975, we established another important program of our association was a lifetime scholarship to benefit the meritorious but underprivileged student at the Muslim University. And I'm proud to report that with the generous help of our members and donors alike, till date, we have awarded merit scholarship to over thousands of boys and girls, not only at the Muslim University, but with the help of our feeder program all over the India. And hence, the Sir Sayyid dream continues and is still well and alive today. And as you all know, that one of our life members right here today, Mr. Frank Islam, he donated $202 million to build the management complex at the Muslim University. He also donated $150,000 to build the auditorium in the mass communication department. And we are honored to have him here today among us. Thank you, Mr. Islam. The Aligarh Alumni Association, Washington, D.C., was also instrumental in conceiving and proposing the first ever AMU World Alumni Summit in 1992. And we are pleased to recognize the director of the Aligarh Muslim University Alumni Affairs, Mr. Sufyan Beg, who's among us today. And you are going to hear from him shortly. The Aligarh Alumni Association, DC, also first conceived the idea of the Federation of Aligarh Alumni in North America. And after a long labor of love, it was officially confirmed on May 25th, 2001. The very first convention of the Federation of Aligarh Alumni Association was organized by this association and was held right here in Washington, D.C. This year, we undertook another important project to establish a COVID-19 relief fund to help most vulnerable communities in India. And with the help of our donors and members, so far we have helped hundreds of families across India. And to conclude, I would like to mention a famous couplet from Majru Sultan Puri Sahab, कि मैं अकेला ही चला था जानिबे मंजिल मगर लोग साथ आते गए और कारवां बनता गया. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. Thank you.
Shukriya Masood Foshori Saab for a brief introduction of the Aligarh Alumni Association, Washington, D.C. And as we all know that we have Professor Sufyan Beg Saab, who is currently the chairman of the Alumni Affairs Committee at Aligarh Muslim University, which was established very recently. And we all know his activities. So before going further, I will request Professor Sufyan Beg Saab to please say a few words. Professor Sufyan Beg Saab. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum and good evening from India, and good morning to all the folks in the United States, or maybe good afternoon also at some places. Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Tariq Mansoor Sahab, Professor Hakeem Zillur Rahman Sahab, Honorary Treasurer, Frank Islam Sahab, Professor A.R. Qidwai Sahab, Professor Ishtiaq Ahmad Zilli Sahab, Abdullah Bhai, Javed Danish Sahab, Afzal Usmani, Zafar Iqbal Sahab, Shahid Jamil Sahab, and many other distinguished alumni and well-wishers of the Aligarh Muslim University who are over here at Zoom or maybe watching this program live on Facebook. Greetings from the Aligarh Muslim University. I'm really privileged to be a part of this inaugural function of the centenary celebrations of the AMU Alumni Association of Washington, D.C. We have lived some very enriching and some very vast experience at the Aligarh Muslim University for the last 100 years. We have a rich legacy to boast about, but then this is the time also to plan for the next 100 years or so. The famous couplet from Iqbal, सफ़ेद दहर से बातिल को मिटाया किसने, नौ इंसान को गुलामी से छुड़ाया किसने, मेरे काबे को जबीनों से बसाया किसने, मेरे कुरान को सीने से लगाया किसने, थे तो आबा वो तुम्हारे ही मगर तुम क्या हो, हाथ पर हाथ धरे मुंतज़िरे फ़र्दा हो. So we should not be waiting for things to shape up. We have to shape our destiny ourselves. So I'll begin by, contemplating that how can we become a world-class university. Over here, I would like to quote 4 points, and they will, form the backbone of my, discussion today. Once the Vice Chancellor of the Cambridge University had defined 4 features of a world-class university. So let me take up the first point. It says, commitment to breadth and excellence in all fields of human inquiry. This is something which is very much embedded in the very vision of our founder, Sir Syed Ahmad. The moment he said that I want such graduates to emerge from this university who have science in one hand, philosophy in the other, and the crown of Kalima La ilaha illallah on their foreheads, it was very, very clear that he's talking about innovations, inventions when he talks about science. And on the other hand, he's talking about the thinking minds and not just the dumb followers when he talks about philosophy in the other hand. So that was point number 1. Point number 2 that the Vice Chancellor of the Cambridge University brought out is cutting edge research and high quality teaching are bound together. Now, this is a very difficult task to maintain a proper balance between teaching and research. And that's why this turns out to be a big dilemma with the faculty members. As the faculty, we get paid for teaching, but we get promoted for research. So our salary is guaranteed, but promotion is not guaranteed. So obviously people, they are trying more for research and they may leave out on teaching because salary is guaranteed anyway. I remember my professor when I was a postdoc at the University of California at Berkeley. He had this message on his office door: in order to survive here, you have to kill yourself. In order to become a world-class university, we will have to kill ourselves so that we are able to survive in the ever-rising graph of the universities the world over. The third point was academic freedom to the researchers to experiment, succeed, and sometimes fail. Sometimes fail is something that I'll underline. And I'll elaborate further by quoting from the biography of the famous English cricketer Alex Stewart, where he writes, we learn more from our defeats than from our victories. When we are victorious, you know, we are overjoyed. We may overlook a lot of shortcomings because we have won anyway. It is actually when we get defeated that we sit down with our heads bowed down and we try to contemplate and we try to introspect and ponder where have we gone wrong. So we shouldn't be afraid of experimenting and getting failed, because failures are going to teach us a lot of things. So experimentation, success, failure, they have to be a part and parcel of the exercise to become a world-class university. Point number 4, encourage interdisciplinary research and teaching. This is some of the things which are tailor-made for our university, I would rather say, because we have right from nursery and schools to postdoctoral opportunities in our university. We have such a varied, you know, discipline area from theology to engineering and medicine. We have much scope for interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary, and cross-disciplinary research and development. So that way we can even beat our IITs and ISC because they are, you know, very narrow and focused institutes. We are a university. We have that privilege that we are a university. We can carry out all kinds of interdisciplinary research in our university. So these were the 4 points from the Vice Chancellor of the Cambridge University. Now there are 2 areas where we do poorly in the Indian rankings. We all know about the NIRF, which is, you know, being brought out by the government of India. So the 2 points where we suffer is, one of them is the placement. And in placement, we have got the locational disadvantages. Being away from the, you know, Delhi, some of the companies, or I will say most of the companies, they are shy and they are hesitant in coming down to Aligarh. So now I'm passing the ball on to the alumni to help us in getting a branch of our placement office in the National Capital Region. So that all such companies who are resident to come down to Aligarh, we can take our students to that office and invite the companies over to, you know, to test, to examine our students and, you know, give them the proper placement. Another area where we do poorly in the Indian ranking is about perception. Again, the alumni, they have the onus. We have to, you know, wear the name of the Aligarh Muslim University on our sleeves. We have to carry this wherever we go. We are like, you know, walking advertisement for our university. Quite often, you know, I have to tell people that we end up by saying Aligarh ye kar raha hai, Aligarh wo kar raha hai. Why don't we do it completely? We say Aligarh Muslim University is doing like this, Aligarh Muslim University is doing like this, you know. So we have to bring up the entire name of the university to wherever we go. The last thing that I quite often, you know, request people to ponder over is, why is the Silicon Valley the Silicon Valley? If you think about it, you will come to the conclusion. I've been in the Bay Area, so I can tell you out of my, you know, experience, Silicon Valley is Silicon Valley because Berkeley and Stanford are there. It is to the credit of these 2 universities that so many startups are coming up, so many people, they are, you know, they are getting employed over there and they are making those companies, those startups, the success stories. So a lot of work is to be done. We have completed 100 years, thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but we have to look forward to the next 100 and 200 or 500 years, that we have to rise up the ladder, and our alumni, they have to help us in whatever way possible. Thanks once again for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Sufyan Beg Sahab, for nice words. And of course, as we all know, that Alumni Affairs Committee is very actively involved, engaging with the alumni all over the globe.
Hello?
मसूद भाई सबको म्यूट कर दें, मुझे छोड़ के, या मैं अनम्यूट कर लूं? Anyway, so to continue the program, I see basically some new people joined and I was waiting for them. Especially I see Asif Faruqi Saab has joined from Bombay, and AMU PRO, Mr. Umar Salim Piazada has joined from Aligarh. Thank you for joining, and I'd like to welcome you all. Asif Bhai, we missed you because we were supposed to read the message, but because of technical glitch, so I will have the mic for you for a minute or two. So if you want to say something about the message, please. Asif Faruqi Saab from Bombay.
Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Since the letter has been read out, I just wanted to say, let me start by thanking Allah, who has honored us all so we can witness this historic celebration. But for me personally to join you all and to do so on behalf of Aligarh Muslim University's Chancellor, His Holiness Sayyidina Mufaddal Saifuddin, is the manner of great honor. Please allow me to express my heartfelt gratitude to the Chancellor for this kind of gesture towards me. One more thing, while preparing this letter and taking permission to read it out to you all, he has, His Holiness Sayyidina Mufaddal Saifuddin Sahib has instructed me to bring his salutation and salams to AMU alumni community. So I bring to you his salams and greetings of peace. And he then by name asked, I take these greetings to each of the following people, especially our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Tariq Mansoor Sahib, AMU Alumni Association President, Mr. Afzal Usmani Sahib, Dr. Abdullah Sahib, Dr. Raziuddin Sahib, and of course, Dr. Frank Islam Sahib, to which I would like to add an observation. While these days, a lot of political changes were happening in US and around the world, and a prayer, a dua, inshallah, soon we see an ambassador in Frank Islam, one of our dear alumni as member of Aligarh University. And of course, Hakim Zillur Rahman Sahib, Professor Sufyan Beg Sahib, and many more. And with your permission, I will now take leave and say salam to you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Asif Bhai. And now we have, as you all know, that we have Professor Abdul Rahim Qadwi Sahab among us, and he's a very well-known figure. He has been running the Muslim Social Affairs Society for a long time, and he's also the Director of Academic Staff College. And apart from that, he's a well-known academician across the globe, and his work on Sir Sayyid and Quranic studies and all is known to everybody. So I'll not take further time, and I will request Professor Abdul Rahim Qadwi Sahab to please say a few words for us. Thank you. Abdul Rahim Qadwi Sahab.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Mohtaram Professor Tariq Mansoor Sahab. It would take me ages to name the other equally illustrious and luminaries who are on the dais. So I would just say salam to everyone. For this evening, I have focused on Sir Sayyid's role model for peaceful coexistence. We know Sir Sayyid had a multifaceted personality, and each aspect of his career and personality is worth emulating. I will focus only on this peaceful existence. Look, today, interfaith dialogue, inclusiveness, peaceful coexistence, they are the buzzwords. To be politically correct, everyone uses these, whether he or she acts on it or not. But it is to be said to the credit of Sir Sayyid that in the hectic times of 1850s, he professed and practiced in the true sense pluralism, peaceful coexistence. What we can learn from that, I will just hint on that. The first point to be noted in Sir Sayyid's career is he removed misconceptions, misperceptions in a sober, academic, scholarly way. And the reference is very obvious to his Risala Asbab Baghawat-e-Hind, where he tried to clear the name of Indian Muslims from the hostile attitude of the British. And his second equally important work in this regard is his Life of the Prophet ﷺ, Khutbat-e-Ahmadiyya. And it is worth noting that he did not stoop to the level of street protest, book burning, or banning the book. He Argument to be countered with the argument. He took all the pains, went to England, sold his personal belongings, but came out with a scholarly rejoinder to Sir William Muir's baseless allegations against the Prophet. So this attitude of rational and sober countering the hostility, the stereotypes, that is the first lesson which we have to learn from Sir Syed. Not to be swayed over by confrontationist attitude. Regrettably, our community is prone to that. So Sir Syed has showed us the way. Then we see that he had a remarkable capacity for taking people together. Whenever you visit next Aligarh, go to Stretchy Hall. There are tablets of the donors. There are 120 of them. And do you believe 2/3 of them are non-Muslims? British, Hindus. This is the man. This is interfaith understanding at its best. Out of 120 donors, some 80 of them, they happen to be non-Muslims. And this is all part of history, that when his grandson, Syed Rad Masood, had Bismillah ceremony, he was in the lap of Raja Jaikishan Das. Ross, one of Sir Syed's British English friend, is part of Syed Masood's name, Syed Ross Masood. So he, not just in theory, he practiced this cordial relations with others on a self-respecting basis. You will be amazed to note, recently I wrote an article and it was published on Sunday Panier on 17th October, where as a humanitarian, Sir Syed has advised Hindu brethren with several pieces of advice. Shun untouchability, get over this caste system, go overseas. Like a sincere friend of theirs, he's talking to his Hindu brethren. And about a dozen of articles are in that light. So that shows his catharosity of mind, his large-heartedness. Then I come to the next point, Sir Syed's scholarly achievement of his commentary on the Bible. He is the first Muslim scholar to write a commentary on the Bible. मनाजरे के अंदाज से जो एक वो जंग जो चल रही थी polemical, it is not of that type. It is a purely academic, scholarly work. That's why the German scholar, Catholic Church, who is advisor to Pope, Professor Christian W. Troll, he has recently translated this Tabeenul Kalam, Sir Syed's commentary on the Bible, into English, and under the leadership of our Vice Chancellor, Sir Syed Academy has recently published that. So look, that's amazing piece of peaceful coexistence. First point to be noted is he calls it Tafsir ala Bible. Tafsir, you know very well, is a purely theological Islamic term, but for giving this message to Muslims, and mind it, he's doing it in 1860, when Muslims are dead set against the British. He is telling them to have respect for other religions. He's calling tafsir on the Bible, just as tafsir on the Quran. So Bible, being the word of God, deserves respect, deserves appreciation. But at the same time, his commentary is marked by his purely Islamic credentials. Nowhere does he compromise on any of the articles of faith. Very plainly, very clearly, he tells this idea of Trinity, this idea of sonship, this idea of Virgin Mary as the Mother of God. They are not. But he stresses also the common grounds between the Quran and the Bible in order to bring the two communities closer. And you know very well about his other booklet, which is about Risala, Ahkam, Darstam, Ahle Kitab, how to deal in a friendly, social, cordial way. So my point is that Sir Syed's illustrious career shows us that as a minority, especially in today's context, how to live together with others who are apparently hostile to us. One is non-confrontationist approach. Next is merit-based lifestyle, because if you have excellence, you are bound to be accepted. And we have the recent example of that boy who secured 100% mark. We are very fortunate, whether it is United States or whether in India, we have democracy, we have system-based, we have systems which are transparent. If we have the merit, no one can stop it. So my request to you, I know all of you have been doing wonderful job with the Frank Islam Saab or all these alumni association, but please try to disseminate this role model of Sir Sayyid of having this peaceful coexistence with other among ourselves. First of all, we should have unity, sense of identity, but with others, we should be more polite, non-confrontationist, while maintaining self-respect, without stooping, without surrendering, without being cringy. Cringy, I don't mean that, but Sir Syed has said a brilliant example of self-respecting and on an equal footing how you can deal with other communities. So that was my main point which I wanted to press home, and I hope if we assimilate this message, it will be in the interest of the Muslim community globally and to everyone's benefit. Thank you once again for giving me this wonderful opportunity of interacting with you. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया प्रोफेसर अब्दुल रहीम खदवी साहब. Thank you very much for the nice words. And of course, Sir Syed is one of the role model most of us, we all have. And definitely we will try to assimilate and emulate his words of wisdom, even which is valid even after 150 years of when he wrote that one. Once again, thank you, Abdul Rahim Khadwi Sahib. It was, even though it was very late for you, but you accepted our invitation and you gave the word of wisdom. After that, I would like to request one of our own, the life member of Legal Alumni Association, Washington, D.C. And he does not, definitely doesn't need an introduction. We all know him, our beloved Dr. Frank Islam. I will not say anything, just the name is enough. Dr. Frank Islam, please.
Thank you very much, Afzal, for your kind introduction. And thank you, Masood Farshori. Mr. Vice Chancellor, it's wonderful to see you. You are the greatest source of strength and inspiration to all of us. We need to learn and listen from you so we can carve our own future together. And thank you, Dr. Abdullah, and other members of the Aligarh Alumni Association for asking me to speak at this AMU Centennial Celebration. Greetings to all of you, alumni who have joined us for this event. It is indeed a pleasure and a privilege to be with you virtually. I will use my remarks today to recognize Aligarh Muslim University's past and what it means for the future, and to look backward so that we may understand how we should move forward. I say that because I view our convening as a chance to remember our history so that we can make new history. I believe that's the way the AMU's founder, Sir Syed, would want it. In our time together, I will talk about AMU, Sir Syed's legacy, and about our legacy as AMU alumni. I know that each and every one of you have a fond, enduring memories of AMU and many lessons that you have learned inside and outside the classroom, and each of those is personal. The lessons that I want to highlight from Sir Syed are transcendent. They are his legacy of love, learning, and light. Let me begin by discussing Sir Syed's legacy of love for all mankind. Sir Syed had a vision not only of peaceful coexistence in a society, but moreover of collaborations and communal harmony in the society. What a powerful and compelling point of view. Why did Sir Syed have such a vision and foresight? It was partly to the way he saw the world and its inhabitants, and he explained his perspective himself. In a famous speech, he said, and I quote, "I regard both Hindus and Muslims as my two eyes. Later, he went even further to say that I had only one eye. He used that phrase to indicate that even though he was a devout Muslim, he loved both Hindus and Muslims equally. Sasyad felt there were two pillars for achieving peaceful coexistence, collaboration, and communal harmony. They were education and shared educational experiences. On the importance of education, while many were advocating for and against including Muslims in Indian National Congress, he declared, and I quote, "I do not agree with those who think the discussion about political matters would help in our national progress. I regard education alone as the means of national progress." Sasyad put his words into action by founding Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College, which became one of the best institutions in the world, Aligarh Muslim University. While it was focused on advancing the educational interest and competencies of Muslims, Sasyad ensured that from its establishment of college was not the province of any religion. During the college infancy, Sasyad emphasized that, and I quote him, "Yes, the main purpose of this college is to impart modern education to Muslims who are suffering because of lack of it. But this institution is for all, Hindus and Muslims alike. Both of them need education." At the founding of Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College, Sasyad expressed a strong and powerful vision for the institution. And he said, and I quote, "This college may expand into a university whose sons and daughters shall go forth throughout the length and the breadth of the land to preach the gospel of free inquiry, of large-hearted tolerations, and a pure morality." That college did become a university, a great university, Aligarh Muslim University. Today, Aligarh Muslim University draws students from all corners of India, from many countries in the world. More importantly, as Sasyad predicted, tens of thousands of AMU graduates have delivered on Sasyad's promise. They have gone throughout the length and the breadth of India and around the globe to improve the lot of others. Over the years, men and women from Aligarh have made significant contribution in all walks of life. Near the end of his life, Sasyad, who had lost his eyesight, said, "I lost my eyesight, but not my vision. My vision never dimmed. My determination never failed. I built the institution for you, and I'm sure you will carry the light of the institution far and wide. Darkness will disappear from around the world." As you all know, there is still much darkness in the United States and India and around the world. Consider this. The uncivil war in the United States engaged in this year as a part of the presidential election cycle, the unmet educational needs of Muslims and other minorities in India, the attacks upon Muslims over the past few years, the revocation of the Article 370 and 35A of the Constitution, the emergence of autocracies in countries such as Turkey, Poland, Hungary, and the increasing decline of democracies and individual freedom and liberty. The darkness is descending. It must be defeated. Because of Sasyad's vision, his legacy of love, learning, and light, we Aligarhians are compelled and have been equipped to overcome this darkness through enlightenment. This brings me to our legacy as AMU graduates and alumni. That legacy is enormous already and will continue to grow. Here are some of the things that AMU alumni have done. AMU alumni contributed significantly to the freedom struggle and the establishments of Indian democracy. In this regard, Prime Minister Nehru once said, and I quote, "Sasyad's decision to concentrate on Western education for Muslims was undoubtedly the right one. Without that, they could have not played an effective role in building up an Indian democracy." End of quotation. AMU alumni has been central to the development of Indian nation. One need to look at the long list of alumni who have played roles from the president to chief ministers, from jurists to bureaucrats, from authors to journalists, from film star to sportsmen, to understand there's hardly any facet of public life where AMU alumni have not made a significant contribution. Indeed, they have made substantial contribution in all walks of life in India. AMU alumni have also made significant contribution in nations around the globe. There are currently around 20,000 Aligarh alumni in 100 countries worldwide. I am one of them. Each and every one of you in this virtual audience today is one of them. AMU alumni have accomplished much, but given the state of the world today and the enormous additional pain and suffering been inflicted by the virus pandemic, there is much more that needs to be done. That's the bad news. The good news is that as alumni of AMU, we have been prepared to do much more. Our paths have been different, but the common and constant bond that unites us is a belief in and commitment to equal justice and shared sense of humanity. As alumni of AMU and descendant of Sir Syed, we have been given the gift of a sensitive and sensible education. We have been enriched, imbued with a great appreciation for the past, the present, and the role that we as a Muslim should play in working with those of all religious persuasion to create the future. Future belongs to us. If we can work together, we can live together, we can heal together, and we can redeem the promise and potential of India and the United States. Enable, equipped with the knowledge and the skills and ability required to be successful in our personal and professional life. Empowered, prepared to realize our full potential and to contribute to the advancement of society. Our responsibility is to return that gift by assisting others and helping find solutions to problems confronting India, the United States, and the world today. As I said at the outset of my comments, we are gathered here today to look backward, to understand how to move forward, and to remember our history so that we can make a new history. We AMU alumni and descendants of Sir Syed have the history and heritage and duty to be difference makers and to be the destroyers of darkness. And that has been, is, and will be our legacy. Our hope, our cause will endure, and Sir Syed's dream shall never die. Let me leave you with this quote from Dr. Zakir Hussain while addressing AMU students on February 20th, 1949, when he said, "You must remember that the glorious heritage is yours. It is for you to revive the past splendor of Aligarh. The inscription which have been carved on the walls of your strategy hall fade with time. But the inscription which Aligarh has written on the modern period of Indian history would never fade." End of his quotation. Thank you, Mr. Vice Chancellor, for being here. And thank you for letting me share my thoughts with you on this special occasion. God bless all of you. But we need to figure out how we work together to ensure the victory for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank Islam Saab. Thank you very much for the nice words and visionary words. And I see, even though I see our senior and legendary hockey player Zafar Iqbal Bhai also on the screen, because even if with his poor health, he was sick, but he joined us. Thank you very much, Zafar Bhai, for joining. And to move further, we have, as we all know, as I said earlier, I'm not going to do a long introduction. For me, the name, because the name itself is introduction. And we all know Professor Tariq Mansoor Saab. I know him for a long time, since I was a student. He was a faculty member there in different capacity. I've seen him in Aligarh, and now he's serving as the Vice Chancellor of Aligarh Muslim University. It's a pleasure and honor to be his host. And I will, before taking much time, I will request Professor Tariq Mansoor Saab to please come on the stage and share your thoughts. Tariq Mansoor Saab.
Mr. Frank Saab, life member of the Washington Alumni Association, Mr. Afzal Usmani Saab, President of the Association, Mr. Masood Farshuri, Dr. Abdullah, Mr. Razi Raziuddin, Mr. Fazal Khan, Mr. Muhammad Akbar, Mr. Shahid Khan, Mr. Muhammad Javed, Dr. Shah Islam, Hakim Zulur Rahman Saab, Professor A.R. Kadwai, Professor Sufyan Beg, Professor Ishtiaq Zilli, Mr. Asif Faruqi, Mr. Ghaffar Iqbal, and I want to name all the others, but those names I can find are in distinguished office bearers, members of the association, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to those in the United States and good evening to those in India. Assalamu alaikum. First of all, I'd like to congratulate all of you for getting a new president, because I was just seeing the news and Mr. Joe Biden has been projected as the new president of the United States because the state of Pennsylvania has been given to him with its 20 electoral votes. And I can see that Mr. Frank Islam is very happy. He cannot hide his happiness. I'm sure that the new president of the United States will be president of all Americans. And he will provide a healing touch. Whereas Mr. Frank Islam rightly pointed out, the last 1 year has seen a lot of divisions in American society. There can be political differences, but the social schism which has come, that is not good for any country. So I'm sure that the new president will provide the healing touch. And we in India also look forward of further strengthening of the relationship between India and the United States of America on both the government to government level as well as on people to people. I'm sure that the new president will give new momentum to the relations between India and the United States. I congratulate the Aligarh Alumni Association, Washington, D.C. for organizing the AMU Centennial Celebration 2020 in these difficult COVID-19 times. My special appreciation and thanks for the efforts of Mr. Afzal Usmani, the President of the Association, and Masood Farshuri, the Trustee, and all the other office bearers and members of the Washington Association. The association is doing important work in the field of education, not only in AMU but at other places in India also. So your work is not only confined to AMU but to other places in India. This association is the oldest in the United States. It has its own identity and place among all the alumni associations which we have. I regard this as the parent association of all other associations in the US. It has got great stalwarts and philanthropists and distinguished personalities such as Dr. Frank Islam among its members and patrons, who have made a great contribution not only in India, but also in the public and corporate life of the United States of America. I'd also like to extend my deep sense of gratitude to the association for inviting me to speak on this occasion. AMU has a unique alumni network, and we are proud of our alumni. All over the world, AMU is recognized for the diverse and distinguished work which our ex-students are doing. They are our true ambassadors. I am committed to further strengthening the bond which you have with Aligarh Muslim University. I am sure that we continue to carry forward the legacy of our founder and of the university. Our legacy founder, Sir Ahmad Khan, his companions and followers had always visualized the establishment of a university, not of a college. He could not establish initially the university, so he established the college, but his vision was always that of a university. And a university in which all the Muslim colleges in India, they will get affiliated and get affiliated. So he first established, as all of us know, because this is a centennial celebration, so I'll just carry you through this history also. Because without history, we are in a vacuum. History is the most important thing, whether it is of a country or of an institution of any. The Madrasa al-Ulum was founded in 1875, and the foundation stone of Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College was laid by Lord Lytton on January 8, 1877. After the death of Sir Syed, the campaign for the university was intensified, and the university finally came into existence on December 1, 1920, after the Gazette notification. So the university was notified on 1st December 1920. The simple but impressive inaugural ceremony of the university was held in the Strachey Hall on December 17, 1920. So the Gazette notification was 1st December. The inauguration of the university was done on 17 December 1920. The alumni played a role in the upgradation of the Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College into AMU. The movement for the upgradation of the AMU College into a university was led by the alumni of that time. They contributed. They were responsible for the upgradation of the AMU College into a university. In this centenary year, the best tribute we can pay our founder is to remember, cherish, and follow the core values he stood for. And as Professor Yafadlai has rightly pointed out some of those things, I think we all need to follow. His teachings, especially his teachings of tolerance and large-heartedness and scientific education. I think all those things, they are as relevant today, or even more relevant today than they were in his life. Ever since its inception in 1920, the university has been making steady progress in academics and all-round development. The 1920 Act had created only a limited number of departments. The university started with only 13 departments, such as botany, zoology, and education department, geography department. The faculty system was introduced in the university in 1944. The AMU College Library was established and was named after Lord Lytton, who was then the Viceroy of India, and was called the Lytton Library. Later, it was extended and inaugurated as Maulana Azad Library on December 6, 1960. The faculties of Commerce and Law came into existence in 1960, and the Department of Business Management in 1960-61. On October 1, 1962, the long-cherished desire of the university community was fulfilled when Dr. Hadi Hassan inaugurated the medical college. The Women's Polytechnic came into existence in 1966, whereas the Faculty of Social Science started in 1969. Till 1990, the university had 71 departments which were grouped under 10 faculties, and by 2000, this rose to 75 departments under 11 faculties. At present, besides 13 faculties and more than 103 departments, we have various colleges, institutes, centers, and schools. We have 10 schools, including one for the visually challenged also. The university has opened 3 new centers of studies outside the main AMU campus in Murshidabad, Malappuram, and Kishanganj. Presently, there are 6 halls of residence for girls and 13 for boys. And the total strength of the residents in the hostels is about 16,000. We have a total strength of 38,000 students, including school students. The university has students from 29 states and union territories. in India. We have a student from Manipur, we have a student from Mizoram, we have a student from Tripura, we have a student from Tamil Nadu. Practically most of the states and union territories we have students. Apart from this, we also have 1,500 foreign students from 24 foreign countries, from Brunei, Indonesia, Afghanistan, Yemen, a lot of Yemeni students, Syria, Jordan, Turkey, North African countries. It's a matter of great satisfaction and pride that the university today is included among the topmost Indian universities, Alhamdulillah. Due to the excellent work done by its faculty and their focused research, we hope and pray that our institution will continue this journey of progress with renewed vigor and dedication, inshallah. I would like to bring to your knowledge the recent development activities in AMU, because alumni, they are always concerned that what is happening in our institution. Number one, we are opening a college of nursing. We already have a school of nursing which is giving diploma, but we are opening a college of nursing from session 2020-21, inshallah. A building costing rupees 15 crores is coming up in the JNMC complex. It is almost complete. And we have already appointed one professor, two associate professors, 3 assistant professors, and 7 tutors for this college of nursing. We will start with 16 students per year for BSc and MSc nursing. A paramedical college is also underway. Building for paramedical college is also coming up in the same complex as that of College of Nursing. UGC has sanctioned 10 teaching positions, and we have already appointed teaching staff specifically for paramedical college in selection committees held in October. The courses which we will start will be in endoscopy, operation theatre techniques, physiotherapy, dialysis technique, lab technologies, radiology, anesthetic techniques, dental hygiene, and dental mechanics. We will start graduate courses in all these specialties, and we have got the building and the teaching positions that I have mentioned already. We have also taken permission from the government of India and from the president, who is the visitor, to start the Institute of Pharmacy. We request the support of alumni for project of the Institute of Pharmacy, which will be under the Faculty of Engineering and Technology. UGC has sanctioned 7 teaching positions, but we request support for equipment and other infrastructure. Despite COVID-19 crisis, we are offering new courses this year. This year, we have started DM Cardiology, which is one of the most prestigious courses in India. And MTech in Earthquake Engineering and Disaster Management, Robotic Engineering, Artificial Intelligence, Material Sciences, 4 new PG courses in Unani Medicine, new MD, MS and MDS courses and PG seats in Medical College, Dental College, BTech in Food Technology in the Engineering College, PG Diploma in Industrial Safety, Pain Management, Critical Care Medicine, Neuro Anesthesia, among others. These courses, they are not in the pipeline. We are going to admit the students from this session. So we are not in the planning stage, we are in the implementation stage. We are about to conduct the entrance test also for these courses. 168 classrooms have been converted into smart classrooms in the last 3 years. The contribution of the Aligarh Muslim University and the Jawaharlal Nehru Medical College during this COVID-19 pandemic has been appreciated by all concerned in India. More than 200,000 RT-PCR tests they have been conducted in the virology lab. Initially, when the COVID started in March, April in India, we were the only 2 labs, one of the only 2 labs in UP which were conducting these tests. One was in Lucknow, the other was in AMU. And we were receiving samples from whole of Western Uttar Pradesh, including Noida, Agra, Meerut, everywhere. So we had a lot of load in the initial stages. Later on, of course, the government has now established hundreds of testing labs. But initially, we covered all the entire Western UP. We have also established a 100-bed isolation ward for complicated cases, not for straightforward cases. And we have established a dedicated operation theater for COVID-19 patients, dedicated labor room, dedicated neonatology intensive care unit, and dedicated dialysis unit, which is only one of these in the entire area. We have also established a plasma antibody therapy blood bank. The most important thing which we have done is to spread awareness and to train the other staff of the government hospitals, the paramedical staff, the medical staff, all the surrounding districts. We have trained them in the prevention, treatment, and rehabilitation of COVID-19 patients. I am very happy to inform you that the Indian Council of Medical Research has given us the responsibility to conduct the COVID-19 vaccine trials, phase 3 trials of the Covaxin. Covaxin is the Indian vaccine, which is being reviewed by Bharat Biotech and by the Indian Council of Medical Research. We are going to start these phase 3 clinical trials, one of the 10 centers in India, from 14th November. And these trials will continue till the end of January. And we hope that along with the other centers who are conducting the trials, we'll be able to have an Indian vaccine by February. And because the production of this vaccine has already started in anticipation that the trials will be successful. And we can start the inoculation in February 2021. So we are also making a contribution in this. A few words regarding the centenary celebrations. I say that man proposes and God disposes. We wanted to celebrate the centenary celebration in offline manner on a grand scale. But unfortunately, due to COVID-19 pandemic, all the plans, including participation of foreign alumni, have been adversely affected. Depending upon the COVID-19 situation, we hope to organize functions in 2021 by pushing back the celebrations. You must be knowing that a beautiful and imposing centenary gate has been constructed in the university and which was recently inaugurated by His Holiness, the Chancellor of the University. In the end, I welcome all of you to visit AMU as soon as the situation normalizes and celebrate the centenary of your alma mater, as well as our emancipation and freedom from the COVID-19 pandemic, which has affected all of us in one way or the other. I wish and pray to the Almighty for the safety and good health of all of you, and wish all of you peace and prosperity in the days to come. Thank you for the answers.
Thank you very much, Professor Tariq Mansoor Saab, for updating all of us regarding the development in university, recent changes and recent development, what had happened in the university. Thank you once again. Thank you very much for your precious time, and thanks for accepting our invitation and speaking to us. After that, I will request the President of the Day, Professor Hakeem Zillur Rahman Saab, who is with us. It's a really pleasure and honor to be his host. Professor Syed Hakeem Zillur Rahman Saab has served in the Faculty of Unani Medicine. He's a Padam Shri, and one of the best things I know about him, I've been known him for more than 20 years. I've met him many, many times, and especially his passion, commitment for the Aligarh movement is amazing. He established Ibn Sina Academy in Aligarh. It's definitely worth visiting site and place. And I say thanks Zia Bhai, his son, who is also a faculty member in the medical college, to basically host this event for him. Hakeem Saab is also currently secretary of one of the oldest institution of Aligarh movement, which is All India Muslim Educational Conference, which was established by Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, and Sir Syed Ahmad Khan was the first secretary of the All India Muslim Educational Conference in 1886. And presently, Hakeem Zillur Rahman Saab is the secretary of All India Muslim Educational Conference. And I'm very hopeful that in near future, Hakeem Saab will reignite and reinvigorate the Muslim Educational Conference, its activities. So before not taking further time, I will request Professor Syed Hakeem Zillur Rahman Saab to do the presidential address. Professor Zillur Rahman Saab.
मेहमान खुसूसी प्रोफेसर तारिक मंसूर साहब, مہمان مقررین افضال عثمانی صاحب، محمد اکبر صاحب، خواتین و حضرات، ایلومنائی ایسوسی ایشن واشنگٹن ڈی سی ہماری شکریہ کی مستحق ہے کہ اس نے سینٹینری کے موقع پر اس تقریب کا اہتمام کیا. اس کے زیر اہتمام یہ تقریبات پورے 1 مہینے تک چلیں گی. اس سے اندازہ ہوتا ہے کہ امریکہ میں خاص طور پر واشنگٹن ڈی سی کے اولڈ بائز صدی کے سلسلے میں کس قدر دلچسپی لے رہے ہیں اور کام کر رہے ہیں. ہندوستان کے مختلف شہروں میں اور دنیا کے مختلف ملکوں میں اولڈ بائز ایسوسیشنز قائم ہیں، لیکن امریکہ کے اولڈ بائز جس طریقے سے نہ صرف یونیورسٹی کے ساتھ مالی تعاون کرتے ہیں اور یونیورسٹی کے مختلف پروگراموں میں فنڈ ریزنگ میں سب سے آگے رہتے ہیں، اسی طریقے سے وہ ہر سال بہت اہتمام سے سر سید ڈے مناتے ہیں اور اس موقع کے اوپر سوینیر نکالتے ہیں، یادگاری مجلات. ہمارے یہاں بھی 4-5 مجلات وہاں کے موجود ہیں. واشنگٹن ڈی سی کے خاص طور پر شہید خان صاحب بھی نکالتے رہے ہیں. تو اس سے اندازہ ہوتا ہے کہ امریکہ میں جو ہمارے اولڈ بائز ہیں وہ یونیورسٹی کے معاملات میں کس حد تک دلچسپی لیتے ہیں. میں اس موقع سے فائدہ اٹھاتے ہوئے ایک بات کی طرف خاص طور پر توجہ دلانا چاہتا ہوں، وہ یہ کہ بہت لوگ اکثر کہتے ہیں کہ جنوبی ہندوستان میں مسلمانوں کی تعلیم کے سلسلے میں بہت کام ہو رہا ہے. میں ان سے اکثر کہتا ہوں کہ جو کام وہاں اب ہو رہا ہے وہ ہمارے ہاں سر سید اور علی گڑھ تحریک کے زیر اثر 100 برس پہلے شروع ہو گیا تھا. اٹاوے میں سب سے پہلے خان بہادر بشیر الدین صاحب نے اسلامیہ کالج قائم کیا. اس کے بعد مشرقی یا مغربی یو پی کا کوئی بڑا قصبہ اور شہر ایسا نہیں ہے جس میں مسلمانوں نے سر سید کی تقلید میں مسلم اسکول اور اسلامیہ کالجز نہ قائم کیے ہوں. لیکن 100 برس سے ان کالجوں کا یہ حال ہے کہ جو ہائی اسکول تھے وہ آج بھی ہائی اسکول ہیں، جو انٹرمیڈیٹ تھے وہ آج بھی انٹرمیڈیٹ ہیں. کوئی ان کا پرسان حال نہیں ہے. بلڈنگ کی جو ان کی بلڈنگس ہیں اور عمارتیں ہیں وہ نہایت خستہ حالی کا شکار ہیں. وہاں سائنس کی لیبارٹریز نہیں ہیں، لائبریری کا کوئی نظم نہیں ہے، کھیل کود کا کوئی میدان نہیں ہے، اساتذہ کی تنخواہیں بہت قلیل ہیں، اور یونیورسٹی میں زیادہ تر طلباء انہی اسکولوں کالجوں سے آتے ہیں. اب جب ان کا کوئی تعلیمی معیار نہیں ہے تو علی گڑھ آنے کے بعد وہ ہمارے یونیورسٹی کے اندر کوئی بہت امتیازی نمبروں سے کامیاب نہیں ہوتے اور ان کی پہچان یا شناخت نہیں ہوتی تعلیمی اعتبار سے. میں امریکہ کے اولڈ بائز سے اس موقع پہ کہنا چاہوں گا کہ وہ یونیورسٹی کے ساتھ تعاون کرتے ہیں، ان کو کرنا چاہیے اور یونیورسٹی اس کی حقدار ہے. لیکن اگر ان اسکولوں کالجوں کی طرف بھی وہ دست تعاون بڑھائیں اور جائزہ لیں کہ ان کی کیا ضروریات ہیں، تو کسی بھی ایک اسکول کے لیے 30-40 لاکھ کی رقم بھی بہت زیادہ ہوگی ان کے واسطے. وہاں جو مینجمنٹ ہے وہ اسکولوں کالجوں پر اس طرح قبضہ جمائے ہوئے ہے اور وہ سمجھتا ہے کہ کسی کو کوئی دلچسپی نہیں ہے، کوئی انٹرسٹ نہیں ہے، لہٰذا وہ وہاں جو بھی ان کے قبضے ہیں اس میں وہ ناجائز طور پر بھی وہاں کی زمینیں غصب کر رہے ہیں. تو میں یہ چاہتا ہوں کہ اگر یو پی کے مختلف حصوں کو تقسیم کر کے اولڈ بائز یہ ذمہ داری لیں کہ وہ وہاں پر کیا ان کی ضروریات ہیں، کیا مسائل ہیں، وہ کن پریشانیوں سے گزر رہے ہیں، تو یہ ایک بہت بڑا کنٹریبیوشن ہوگا. کیونکہ اولڈ بائز کے سامنے مسلمانوں میں تعلیم کا فروغ اور اس کی اشاعت ہے. علی گڑھ کے ساتھ جو ان کا تعاون ہے وہ ان کی مادر درسگاہ کا حق بھی ہے ان کے اوپر اور یونیورسٹی کی کچھ ضروریات بھی ہیں. لیکن میں سمجھتا ہوں کہ اگر وہ ان کالجوں اور اسکولوں کو بھی اپنے پروگرام میں شامل کریں جو مسلم مینیجڈ ہیں. ایک زمانے میں سید حامد صاحب کے زیر سرکردگی میں ان کالجز کا جائزہ لیا گیا تھا لیکن وہ کام ادھورا نامکمل رہا. میں وائس چانسلر صاحب سے بھی گزارش کرنا چاہوں گا اس موقع کے اوپر کہ وہ کوئی کمیٹی بنائے اور وہ کمیٹی یو پی کے اسکولوں اور کالجز کا جائزہ لے. میں واشنگٹن ڈی سی کے اولڈ بائز کے اراکین کا شکر گزار ہوں کہ انہوں نے مجھے اس تقریب میں شرکت کا موقع دیا اور اس کامیاب تقریب کا اہتمام کیا. جو ثقافتی پروگرام اس کے بعد ہونے والا ہے داستان سرائی کا، تو داستان سرائی بھی ہماری تہذیب کا حصہ رہا ہے. سب سے آخر میں دلی میں میر باقر داستان کو بڑی شہرت حاصل ہوئی ہے. دلی کے عمرا کے دیوان خانوں میں ان کی داستان سرائی وہاں کی تہذیب کا ایک حصہ تسلیم کی گئی تھی اور بڑا تذکرہ ملتا ہے. اور داستان سرائی ہماری تہذیب کا ایک بہت اہم حصہ ہے. مجھے خوشی ہوئی کہ وہاں اس تقریب کے بعد داستان سرائی کا سلسلہ شروع ہوگا. میں آخر میں اس تقریب کے منتظمین کو مبارکباد دیتا ہوں، ان کا شکریہ ادا کرتا ہوں. بہت بہت شکریہ.
بہت بہت شکریہ حکیم ذل الرحمان صاحب آپ کی تشریف آوری کا. And at the same time, what you mentioned about the different colleges, schools in the Western UP or in general UP. So on behalf of the Aligarh Alumni Association and on my personal behalf, میں آپ سے درخواست کروں گا کہ آج کل آپ آل انڈیا مسلم ایجوکیشنل کانفرنس کے ذمہ دار بھی ہیں، تو اگر اس کے تحت آپ کوئی پروگرام تجویز کریں، کوئی پروگرام لانچ کریں، تو انشاءاللہ ہم اپنی طرف سے پوری کوشش کریں گے. ہم ایسوسیشن میں یہاں پر اپنی ایسوسیشن میں بھی اس تجویز کو رکھیں گے، اور نارتھ امریکہ میں اور گلوبلی جو بھی الومنائی ایسوسیشنس ہیں ان سے بھی بات کریں گے. تو میں درخواست کروں گا کہ آپ ایجوکیشنل کانفرنس جو ایک بہت ہی لاجیکل پلیٹ فارم بھی بن سکتا ہے اور اس کی اپنی کارکردگی بھی سامنے آئے گی، تو درخواست ہے کہ آپ اس پر سوچیں اور انشاءاللہ کسی موقع پر اس پر تفصیلی گفتگو کی جائے گی آپ سے کہ کس طرح سے اس پروگرام کو ترتیب دیا جائے. اور ایک بار پھر بہت بہت شکریہ حکیم ذل الرحمان صاحب آپ کی تشریف آوری کا اور تمام مہمانوں کا. میں اس اناؤنس کرتا چلوں کہ جیسا سبھی لوگ جانتے ہیں کہ انشاءاللہ اس پورے مہینے جو ہے تمام سیٹرڈیز کو یہ پروگرام 11:30 بجے اسی ٹائم پر ڈفرینٹ پروگرام ہوں گے، جیسے علی گڑھ کا سائنس میں کنٹریبیوشن، علی گڑھ کا کھیل میں کنٹریبیوشن، ادب و ثقافت لٹریچر کلچر میں کنٹریبیوشن، اور اس طرح کے اور بہت سارے ایونٹس ہم نے ترتیب دیے ہوئے اور انشاءاللہ اس کے فلائرس آپ سے شیئر کیے جائیں گے. اور آپ سبھی لوگوں سے درخواست ہے کہ آپ لوگ اس میں شرکت فرمائیں اور اس کو کامیاب کریں. ایک بار پھر بہت بہت شکریہ. میں اس سے پہلے کہ دوسرے سیشن کا آغاز کروں، اور جیسا کہ دوسرا سیشن ہمارا آپ دیکھ رہے ہیں کہ علی گڑھ موومنٹ اراؤنڈ دی گلوب، یہ آج کی تقریب کا دوسرا سیشن ہے جس میں ہم علی گڑھ تحریک کے حوالے سے دنیا میں جو مختلف انجمنیں کام کر رہی ہیں اس کے بارے میں بات کریں گے. اور میں اس کے لیے درخواست کروں گا ہمارے اپنے بہت دل عزیز اور بہت ہی معتبر ڈاکٹر عبداللہ صاحب کو، جن کی شخصیت کسی تعارف کی محتاج نہیں ہے. سن 1975 سے میں علی گڑھ الومنائی ایسوسیشن واشنگٹن کے بانی رہے ہیں یہ، اور آج بھی اتنے ہی فعال اور اس سے زیادہ ایکٹیولی کام کر رہے ہیں. اور الحمدللہ اس وقت پورے گلوبلی علی گڑھ الومنائیز کو عبداللہ صاحب نے کنیکٹ کیا ہوا ہے اور اس کے تحت پروگرام بھی کیے ہیں اور کر رہے ہیں، اور انشاءاللہ آگے بھی کرتے رہیں گے. میں بہت ہی ادب و احترام کے ساتھ درخواست کروں گا ڈاکٹر عبداللہ صاحب سے کہ پلیز تشریف لائیں اور اس پروگرام کو آگے بڑھائیں. ڈاکٹر عبداللہ صاحب.
کمان عبداللہ بھائی.
Please unmute.
انمیوٹ کر لیں عبداللہ بھائی.
انمیوٹ تو کر لیا میں نے. کین یو ہیئر می؟
جی جی آ گئے، آپ آ گئے.
اسکرین پہ میری
ہاں نہیں، آپ اسکرین پہ
باقی لوگ کوئی نہیں ہے اسکرین پہ باہر. کا بہت بہت شکریہ. بڑا اچھا سیشن رہا پہلا، اور مجھے نہیں معلوم کہ ہمارے سارے مہمانان چلے گئے ہیں یا ہیں. بہرکیف شیروانی صاحب اور طارق صاحب اور تمام لوگ جو بھی بیگ صاحب ان لوگوں نے عزت بخشی ایسوسیشن کو شامل ہوئے، اور فرینک باقی. اب بات کرتے ہیں. لیٹس اسٹارٹ. آئی مین ٹائم آپ کا آگے چلا گیا ہے، تو میری سلائیڈز کھول دیجیے آپ، اور میں سلائیڈز تو نہیں بھائی میری، کہاں جائیں آپ؟ اوکے. Okay, now we are going to talk about Aligarh movement around the globe. And I'm going to give a fast overview kyunki time zara kam reh gaya. Let's go to the next slide. And to do that, let's start the story from where it started. Next. Aligarh movement is highlighted because in order to talk about the movement, let us understand what Aligarh movement is. To many people, it was an educational movement, and to a lot of people like me, they used to call that it is a movement to bring a positive social change through education. But any movement in general, there is some objective, and therefore to achieve that objective, people have a strategy and an action plan. And in order to do that, and so to me, the Aligarh movement was really not only a social change, but social change was an intermediate step. Major thing was to upliftment of a community which was demoralized, and to uplift them so that they can take charge of their own destiny and be an equal partner in building the nation. Next slide. And therefore, we can call a universal concept of Aligarh movement is a movement which motivates us to pool our resources and organize ourselves to meet the challenges we are facing. And these challenges, they differ from place and time. And then it makes relevant to those people who are away from the homeland. Okay, let's go next. Now, for any movement, as we talked earlier, that Sir Syed had all these tools to bring that change. Scientific society was to bring some more rational approach to life. Tehzeeb-ul Akhlaq was basically social reform and Urdu language. And the AMU College or Madrasatul Uloom was to bring a new kind of education, and Muslim Educational Conference was more activism, and basically that also involved the politics in that. So let's go to the next. These were the tools. And the AMU College, this is from where we start. AMU College gave us some student organization. One was Anjuman Al-Farz, which became Duty Society, and Akhwan Safa, Brotherhood, and then Brotherhood. From Brotherhood came in 1899, Old Boys Association. Next. Now, Duty Society was basically, it was to preach the gospel of Sir Syed during summer, collect money to build buildings in Aligarh, and also give interest-free loan to students who could not afford education. So this was a traditional alumni association in the Western sense. And Old Boys Association got involved more into the communities they lived in after leaving Aligarh. And they did a lot of local service, especially building schools and in community service. And basically, that was a manifestation, I would say, of Aligarh movement, and that is spread around the world with Aligarhians. And they spent, wherever they went, they basically started schools and all that. In India, my guess is more than close to 400 schools are built by Aligarhians. In Pakistan, there are 6. In South Africa and in Bangladesh, there is 1. That's all I know, but there may be many more. Next. So in Washington, what we did, we combined the two concepts, Duty Society and Old Boys Association, and we combined these two to model our Washington, D.C. Association, which was, as Masood Farshori said, luckily was the same date after 100 years. It was formed after the foundation of the Madrasatul Uloom, 24th of May, 1975. So we were concerned about our own situation over here, as well as we were attached to Aligarh. Next. So the foundation, this is the oldest association and all that. In 1966, 79, we thought about a national organization. We formed a national organization, and any other organization which was coming out, they were supposed to be the chapter of Washington, but that experiment did not work. So in 1986, we thought about forming a federation. So there were only 3 associations, and the communication and all that was so bad, and it was very expensive, then we could not succeed in that either. So next. Then after that, Asad Saab started Summer University, and also the AMU net provided a better way of communication. Internet had come. So we got encouraged with that. And in 2000, we started with encouragement from Shahir and Habib Saab from New York and all that. So we started that, and in 2001, we formed an alumni association. Federation of Alumni Association. Next. And the objective of all the association, broadly speaking, is really to help AMU and the student body through scholarship or many other programs, and develop and strengthen a sense of community by providing social services to the member and community, because this element is very important because we came in a new environment. So we were really establishing ourselves. It was a big struggle to feel a sense of belonging. So community was needed, and actually it is strange, but the mushairas played a very important role because of the wars and this and that. So we were able to bring through mushaira the people of various like faith and various background. They were together for the sake of the common good and common culture. Go ahead. Next. So there are so many organizations. The white ones, they weren't, when we formed the federation, they existed, and the rest of them, they came after the federation was formed. So we have about 12 organization here. 15 in United States, two in Canada, and there are 2 adjunct like Engineering College and Medical College associations are also there. Let's go next. And then there are Aligarh around the globe. These are the association. We lately, Isfahan help, we found out that these are the association in US. There are 15 and other lists are there. So altogether we were able to find about 50 associations are around the globe. And maybe Beg Saab has a better data, so we have to work on that. Go ahead. Next. So this is the map where the Aligarh people exist. And the associations are there. Next. Now, about the alumni summit in 1992, actually, when Abul Hassan Siddiqui, who was a 1-year junior to me in mathematics department, became a pro vice chancellor. So I had suggested to him, and they picked up, and hurriedly organized a world summit, and that result was not very promising. Anyway, then PK Aziz Saab took, again, we revisited that, and since alumni summit has become a regular feature, and that is really alumni affair committee has been established. So that is a good thing. And let's go next. So moving ahead, really, recently we had one experience of organizing this mushaira on internet. And then we were able to pull about 25 associations across the globe. So now the whole thing is that we can take up from there and organize them. And to organize that, actually, the alumni, the affairs office in Aligarh has to be a little bit more elaborate. I think we should give a dedicated staff, and maybe the alumni can pay that supporting staff and develop a comprehensive plan to support the university and the student, as was mentioned by Sherwani Saab and others. There is no specific plan. There is no elaborate plan like 5-year, 10-year, what we can do, and so that alumni can all over the world can have a specific goal to meet. So build on the communication channel, which has been through this global connect of the mushaira up to 22, we can perhaps start. And like this pandemic, while we got a lot of trouble, at least it has given a vehicle that on Zoom and all that, now the whole world we can have more frequent meetings and all that, and can sort out the priorities and do things. Next. So our objective is really to carry forward the Aligarh movement for the betterment of the community. That is what it is. So Aligarh is all over the world. Now the idea is that how we can plan to make better use of all these resources. In West, most of the universities, they use their alumni as the best resource. Now, after this, my introduction, we have picked up a few alumni associations to show that what they are doing. We could not accommodate everyone because of the time, and I have cut my presentation also. Now we start with the Atlanta presentation, and here is Hassan Kamal. Hassan Kamal is a person really who was instrumental. This is starting the Washington Association here. This was his initiative. Otherwise, the idea was sitting for 5 years. So here is Hassan Kamal from Atlanta and what the Atlanta Association has done. Run it.
नंबर 233 था। मुझे हुक्म हुआ है कि मैं अलीगढ़ अलुमनाई एसोसिएशन ऑफ अटलांटा के बारे में आप लोगों को बताऊं। तो इसका वजूद 1984 में हुआ था, और जब पीके अब्दुल अजीज साहब यहाँ आए तो हम लोगों के दरमियान में ग्लोबल अलुमनाई मीट का तबादला ख्याल हुआ, जो कि आज उसके बाद से हर साल अलीगढ़ में होती है। और उसके अलावा यहाँ मेमोरेंडम ऑफ अंडरस्टैंडिंग जॉर्जिया स्टेट यूनिवर्सिटी से भी साइन हुई। उसके बाद जब वाइस चांसलर जमीरुद्दीन शाह साहब यहाँ अटलांटा आए तो उनके अपील पे हम लोगों ने उनको यहाँ के लोगों ने 2 स्मार्ट क्लासरूम का डोनेशन दिया, और ओहायो स्टेट यूनिवर्सिटी यहाँ अटलांटा आई और उसने उनके और अलीगढ़ मुस्लिम यूनिवर्सिटी के दरमियान में एमओयू साइन हुआ, जिसका नतीजा है अबुल कलाम मुस्लिम सेंटर जो आज वहाँ कायम है। फिर यूनिवर्सिटी इस्लाम शरीफ अली बुनाई की आकर के अलीगढ़ मुस्लिम यूनिवर्सिटी से एमओयू साइन हुए। हम लोगों ने आज मर्सर यूनिवर्सिटी से भी एमओयू साइन हुआ, जिसकी वजह से फैकल्टी एक्सचेंज हुआ। वहाँ के थियोलॉजी के प्रोफेसर यहाँ आए और यहाँ के थियोलॉजी के प्रोफेसर वहाँ गए। 12 स्टूडेंट्स मर्सर यूनिवर्सिटी 2 प्रोफेसर के साथ रमज़ान के ज़माने में मई के महीने में अलीगढ़ गए। उसका नतीजा ये हुआ कि मर्सर यूनिवर्सिटी ने एशियन रिलीजन इंट्रोड्यूस किया है और प्रोफेसर जावेद अख्तर जो है ऑनलाइन इस्लाम पढ़ा रहे हैं। फिर आज कल डॉक्टर शुएब अहमद साहब प्रेसिडेंट हैं, उनकी मौजूदगी में हम लोगों ने यहाँ जो है वो फेडरेशन का कन्वेंशन किया, और कनाडा में 2 स्टूडेंट्स को सख्त ज़रूरत थी जो कोविड की वजह से उनकी जान चली गई, तो हम लोगों ने यहाँ से $5,000 कैनेडियन उनको भेजा। फिर मर्सर यूनिवर्सिटी के वाइस प्रेसिडेंट साहब ने हम लोगों को मर्सर फैमिली का खिताब देते हुए हमसे अपील की कि हम वहाँ के स्टूडेंट्स की मदद करें, तो $10,000 हम लोगों ने रेज किया और उनको दिया। और जाते वक्त काउंसलर इंडियन काउंसलेट के काउंसलर लफ्तकिया साहब को हम लोगों ने डिनर दिया। और मौजूदा जो 2 मुशायरे हो रहे हैं उसमें भी हम लोग जो है शामिल हैं, तो इंशाअल्लाह अच्छे काम होते रहेंगे। वस्सलाम। उम्मीद है कि हम लोगों की तरफ से आप लोगों को जो है मुशायरा बहुत अच्छा होगा।
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया हसन। नेक्स्ट प्रेजेंटेशन जो है
Aligarh Muslim University Alumni Association of Greater Chicago was established in 1986 for social, cultural, and educational activities. Since 2005, it has been sponsoring girls' education programs in India. With generous support from our members and well-wishers, we have been able to complete 20 different projects related to girls' education in India. Some of these projects focused on building classrooms libraries, science lab, and computer center. Often it included facilities as simple as separate bathroom for girls, which is critical to increase their attendance. Here are some of the completed projects. Addition of classrooms, computer center, and science lab at Jalilia Muslim Secondary School. Construction of classroom in village Gauti, Fatehpur. Establish Amna Girls School in Lucknow. Construction of classrooms, toilets, furniture at Anjuman Islamia Primary School in Bahraich, UP. Construction of Sir Syed Academy in Siddharth Nagar. Dr. Usman Ghani Computer Center in Phulwari Sharif, Bihar. Computer Center at Amna Girls School in Lucknow. Classrooms at Hera Public School, Ambedkar Nagar. Over the past few years, AMU has donated approximately 1.1 crore rupees to AMU. Of this, 80 lakhs was to support the remote education of deserving women under the coronavirus pandemic. AMU is a tax-exempt organization. To participate, please visit our website, amuaachicago.org. Thank you for your support. We couldn't have done it without you.
Now that was Chicago Association, which with focus on basically on girls' education. Next presentation is by Shahir Khan. Shahir Khan is one of the very active alumni over here, and he had a role to play in really establishing the federation and all that. And he is doing some wonderful work. He is going to present himself. Shahir, presentation.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Thank you very much, Abdullah Bhai and Afzal, for including our association in this wonderful program. So, if you can have the first slide, please.
आप ही अच्छे लग रहे हैं ज़्यादा, इसलिए वो दिखाई नहीं रहा। भाई दिखा दो यार दूसरी स्लाइड। जाकिर साहब लग रहे हैं।
Afzal is trying to get the slides.
Okay.
Okay, here it is. So I am representing two organizations today. It's our association, AMU Alumni Association of Northern California, which was established in 1996, and also a Legal Education Endowment Fund, which was 2005. So about 25 years history of our association and 15 years of endowment. So 40 years history, and I have been given 4 minutes to present both of them. So I will, hopefully this program is being recorded and people will have the details, and the websites of both the organizations are listed. So people can go and see the details, but I will give about 2 slides for the association and 4 or 5 slides for the endowment fund. So people get a snapshot what we are up to. So can we have the next slide, please? So as Abdullah Bhai has said, let's start the story from where it is started. So on the left-hand side, you see the foundation stone. And also after 100 years, we have this centenary gate, which was the right thing to do. And I thank the Vice Chancellor Saab for giving the university a memorable gift on the 100th anniversary of the university. Next slide, please. So this is just the snapshot of the work we have been doing it through our Alumni Association of Northern California. Most of the time we hear this criticism from our Aligarh alumni friends, कि अलीगढ़ वालों को मुशायरे के अलावा और कुछ नहीं करते हैं. So that's why I put the first thing which our main program, of course we did mushayara, but over the years, for the last 20 years, we have awarded more than 2,600 scholarships, mostly in Aligarh, but some outside. And we have given over 10 million Indian rupees, which like 1 crore rupees. We organized this mushaira in collaboration. We started with Washington Association, Urdu Markaz, and Federation. And this year we have online mushaira. In fact, we have 2 of them, one with the Federation and the other one was in collaboration with our Washington Association. So we have been doing mushairas in 1996. We do the other literary and cultural events like Eid Milan. We do the professional networking events, and we have been publishing in the magazine non-stop in collaboration with our sister organizations since 2000, as was pointed out by Hakim Saab, and we give the appropriate awards to the visiting distinguished alumni. So as I just said, the scholarships, they are all on merit come means basis, and they are beyond high school, mostly in Aligarh. And 100% amount is used for scholarship. There are no overhead costs. Our association, like many other associations, we are all volunteer basis, so there are no overhead costs. And the money is deposited directly to the university. So university gets the either in terms of tuition fees or at the food charges. And many of the recipients of our scholarship, they are orphans, and we have a good number of blind students who are supported by our organization. Next slide, please. तो ये तो थी कारकर्दगी हमारी अलुमनाई एसोसिएशन की, but we have got was given the feedback from different people that we have to go beyond Aligarh. So a sister organization was established in 2005 under the leadership of Dr. Hassan Kamil and Dr. Talat Hassan, and they are guiding us to take this endowment fund, which works in Aligarh and outside the Aligarh. Next slide, please. So this is the snapshot of what we have done it in the last 10 years for the scholarship fund. We have awarded in terms of either the development grants or the scholarships, or something is over $600,000. There are scholarships, we give it to make sure that the distribution is equal between the boys and girls, depending what the population is in a given institution. Also, most of our scholarship recipients, they are first generation learners. So they come very, very poor background. We give the development grants. This year we have this, I put it in the black, very unfortunate thing. Many organizations, including us, we have no choice but to basically broaden and go outside our scholarship thing and take care of the people who cannot afford, because of the pandemic, a lot of labor class people, they lost their jobs, they have no means to put the food on their table. So we started with this program, and then by and large, our community was very, very supportive, and we have given about $33,000 food for more than 1,000 families, for which lasts for a family of 4 to 6 people for a month. Next slide, please. So these are our accomplishments for 2020. The scholarship, we have given about almost 60,000, and we are, as Hakim Saab pointed out, we are working with the schools in different places. We have in Ambedkar Nagar, Faizabad, Hathras with the Saima Mansoor School, and also we adopted a work with our donors for this wonderful vocational training center, which is being managed by Professor Nafis Saab under Nurul Uloom Society in Hathras. So we have supported this one for with a grant which was dedicated for this project by a very generous donor for about $100,000 we have given for this project. And this year in January, there is a school in Delhi, Maulana Azad School, which caters to the need of disabled students, which was at the verge of being closed. So we worked with this school, revived it, gave them a development grant so they can continue working. And Shahid Jamil Saab inaugurated that project back in January. And we worked with other schools. So this year so far, we have spent about $131,000. Again, this is also done all on volunteer basis. So we have very minimal overhead costs, which includes only the development, the website maintenance, and the and the mailing and postage and so on. So these are our program focus areas: the education in excellence, scholarship, feeder institutions. There are many. Vocational training. We have been supporting Mahila Markaz, which is managed by Dr. Asim Rizvi Saab. Also, we started recently a program for vocational training in the medical field. Mostly they are around Lucknow. And we were pointed out by some of the people who have visited the school. They said the poor kids who come in, they are hungry, they don't even have the breakfast, so how they can learn anything. So as a pilot program, we started this program last year, which was to provide these snacks 6 days a week for about 300 students. But because of the pandemic, when the school closed, this program became sort of dormant. So once the school opened, we will start it again. People have been very generous to support this program. And again, we work with our sister organizations for this mentorship program. I'm sure Ali Rizvi will talk more about it, but we are working with them and to support this program. Wherever is possible, we work with our sister organizations, so we don't have to reinvent the wheel and leverage the expertise of our sister organization. So we not only just give the money and disappear. It means a lot for the kids when we visit them. So whenever I go to India, I go and visit most of these schools, either in Aligarh or Aligarh, and observe those schools. This is the Hamara school in Aligarh. Next slide, please. I will go quickly. Aligarh Modern School. Again, I visited them. The Mahila Markaz in Aligarh. It's behind Medical College. This is the school in Ambedkar Nagar. Hira Public School, I visited them, and this was the school, Simon Mansoor School, which is managed by Nafis Saab and the industrial complex. So again, I will finish with this thing. Again, we hear the criticism, Aligarh वालों को ये करना चाहिए, वो करना चाहिए. हम तो कोशिश यही है कि जो कुछ हम कर सकते हैं, कर रहे हैं. शिकवे जुल्मत शब से तो कहीं बेहतर था आपने हिस्से की शमा जलाते जाते. उसकी वजाने के उसे पास से वफा था कि ना था, तुम फराज अपनी तरफ से तो निभाते जाते. तो बहरहाल हम लोग जो कुछ कर सकते हैं वो कर रहे हैं. Again, once again, I thank Washington Association for including us in this vendor program and showcase whatever the efforts of our association and endowment fund has done it for the last 25 years. Thank you very much.
Thank you. मैं जरा 1 मिनट ले लूं. पहले अगली मीटिंग तक इंशाल्लाह शहीद की पूरी दाढ़ी होगी, नंबर 1. दूसरी बात की outside Aligarh, actually, Masood, most of the association, शरवान साहब को शायद रहमान साहब को पता नहीं होगा, बहुत सारी एसोसिएशन जो है वाशिंगटन वाले भी अपना एक फीडर प्रोग्राम जिसका तस्करा किया था वो भी बाहर अलीगढ़ के करते हैं. लेकिन ज़रूरत इतनी ज़्यादा है कि शायद सबकी ज़रूरतें नहीं पूरी हो रही और कोऑर्डिनेशन नहीं है हिंदुस्तान में, जिस तरह की सपोर्ट चाहिए वो नहीं है. तो ऑल दीज थिंग्स दे नीड टू बी वर्कड आउट. एक चीज़ जो मुशायरे के लिए बात कर रहे थे, मुशायरा दरअसल हम लोगों ने शुरू किया था जो यहाँ पर एक कम्युनिटी की तश्कील के लिए, क्योंकि हम लोगों को ज़रूरत थी उस वक्त की, कोई कम्युनिटी नहीं थी, इंडिविजुअल्स टहल रहे थे. और मैंने एक दफ़ा कहा था और अब भी सही है कि मुशायरा जो हमारी डुगडुगी है, डुगडुगी बजाते हैं जब लोग इकट्ठे होते हैं तो बंदर कोई और होता है नाचने के लिए, उसके पीछे एक मकसद है. तो दिस इज़ ए वे टू असेंबल पीपल एंड उनसे फिर अपील करते हैं और फिर ये काम आगे बढ़ता है. बहुत शुक्रिया शहीद. अब आप आगे चलते हैं हम लोग. नाउ आई एम गोइंग टू रिक्वेस्ट अली रिजवी. अली इज इन बॉस्टन. अली जो है वो वहाँ के भी प्रेसिडेंट रह चुके हैं और फेडरेशन के भी प्रेसिडेंट थे और बोर्ड ऑफ ट्रस्टीज के चेयरमैन थे, एंड ही इज इन्वॉल्व इनटू टू मेनी थिंग्स. ए डायनेमिक मैन, अली रिजवी. एंड अली जो है वो शहीद ने ज्यादा वक्त ले लिया, हमें कट करना पड़ेगा.
जी.
आई कट ऑल माय स्लाइड्स. चलो इंशाल्लाह आइए.
Assalamu alaikum everyone, and Professor Tariq Mansoor Sahab, Dr. Frank Islam, Washington Shehzad Usmani Sahab, distinguished guests and Nigerians and friends. Off on the screen and those who are on Facebook, sabhi logon ko assalamu alaikum. I really feel delighted to join you all from Boston, the Mecca of education, to talk briefly about the various areas that we have been involved in as a Ligurian. So all what I say is a drop in the ocean compared to the efforts being done by leagues across the world, nonetheless, it opens up to others what the efforts we have done. All of us, wherever we are, we live, breathe, and work, we get involved. And thanks to the Aligarh Tarbiyat and Taaleem, if Sir Syed were around here, alive today, he would be proud to see that his dream of spreading the Aligarh movement is reaching far and wide and flourishing. Today, I will share some initiatives that I'm involved with, and thank you to the Association of Washington for giving me this chance to talk to this wonderful gathering of Aligarhians across the world. The two programs I'll talk about today are the Sir Syed Education Society of North America and Vision Aid. In 2006, 4 Aligarhians, including myself, formed an alliance called the Sir Syed Global Scholar Award to guide and to mentor AMU scholars for higher studies across the world. Each year, we invite applications from AMU students or alumni who wish to pursue higher studies outside of India. Through a written examination, an interview, and a review of their academic and other credentials, the top 25 to 30 students are finally selected. The award package includes paying for the application fees up to 5 universities and for paying for the standardized tests like GMAT, GRE, or TOEFL. The SSGC scholars are then assigned 1 to 2 mentors from the same field who constantly work with the mentee and help the awardee to prepare for their standard examinations. We do all that is possible to ensure the students get admits into their dream university and beyond. Now, this truly is a lifelong commitment to our brothers and sisters at Aligarh Muslim University. The program is run under the aegis of Sir Syed Education Society of North America, a 501c3 organization. The financial cost is about $1,200 per scholar, and we could not have achieved this success without the financial support and help from several AMU alumni associations, notably that of Atlanta, Boston, Chicago, Houston, the Aligarh Education Endowment Fund, and the Indian Muslim Relief and Charities. In the past 14 years, the SSGSA has successfully mentored and placed more than 110 students across the world, from USA to Canada. This is a slide. Thank you so much. We have a very high success rate. This segment is entitled Aligarh Movement Around the Globe of the Ladai. In fact, the work of SSGSA is truly global. And hear this out. Our scholars are right now in 22 countries of the world: USA, Canada, Germany, UK, Ireland, France, Netherlands, Finland, Belgium, Switzerland, Italy, Poland, Turkey, Australia, New Zealand, UAE, Malaysia, Indonesia, China, South Korea, Israel, and Hong Kong. From Harvard University to MIT to Stanford, University of California to the Imperial College in London, our scholars are everywhere. They are now employed gainfully at NIH, at the CERN lab in Switzerland, at NASA, at Microsoft, at Amazon, at Intel, Facebook, Deloitte and Touche, Booz Allen Hamilton, and many other organizations. I'm truly proud to say that the past 3 chairs of our SSGSA program, Mohsen Raza Khan, Ali Muzaffar, and Wasiqul Islam, the current chair, are also beneficiaries of this robust program. We do not lead, we allow younger Aligarhians to become leaders in their own field. And many like these scholars are now paying back in their own way. We are really grateful to all our mentors, volunteers, donors, and supporters. And for more information, please visit www.ssgsa.us. Next slide, please. This is a snapshot of all our scholars that are spread across the world and some data and statistics of how many students, how many universities, and where, in what fields they are involved with. Next slide, please. And the next. Thank you. And now for the next organization, Vision Aid. Did you know that of the 40 million people who are blind across the world, India is home to about 15 million blind? Did you also know that of all the universities in India, only the great Aligarh Muslim University has had the foresight to have a blind school attached to it within its campus. This is the Ahmadi School for Visually Impaired. Since 2013, I'm honored to serve as a volunteer president of a Boston-based nonprofit organization called Vision Aid that is serving the visually impaired. Through their resources, we are continuously trying to bring much needed programs to benefit AMU blind school students. Next slide, please. And the next. The mission of this wonderful organization is to educate, empower, and to enable the visually impaired students to lead a life of independence and with dignity. In 2015, VisionAid donated 20 laptop computers to the Ahmadi School for the Visually Impaired and launched a computer lab there in 2015. Here we also teach Python programming, computer applications, the Braille language, special skills, life skills, provide devices for the blind, orientation and mobility, and mobile technologies. Low vision evaluation is also included. Inshallah, we hope to start a call center for the blind at Aligarh very, very soon someday. We have 10 locations across India, and in these centers, our aim is to offer all the help possible to the visually impaired students under one single roof. Next slide, please. And the next. With the coronavirus, the world is thinking and evolving systems, platforms, and technologies that will change the way we conduct ourselves in our personal and professional lives. It will change the way we live, we work, we socialize, we shop, we travel, and educate ourselves. We are all locked in, and all of us will need to learn new ways of interacting with our teachers, our classes, and honing our skill sets. And therefore, we need to quickly latch on to this new technique of instruction and learning. Thank you for giving this chance to speak with all of you today. And all of us have an obligation to give back to Aligarh Muslim University. Let us all together fulfill Sir Sayyid's mission and his vision. What better gift to give to AMU in its 100th year of its fine existence? जी हाँ, अब्दुल्ला भाई, जैसे आप कहते हैं, अक्सर हम सब कहते हैं, जो अब्र यहाँ से उठेगा, वो सारे जहाँ पर बरसेगा. Walaikum assalam, and thank you all in Washington and around the world. Assalamu alaikum.
तो अली को हटाओ भाई अब.
जी.
हेलो अफजाल.
अली भाई को रहने दीजिए, अली भाई को रहने दीजिए, क्यों हटा रहे हैं? बहुत
नहीं, अली बहुत ज्यादा अच्छे लग रहे हैं ना, इनको हटाना जल्दी.
वो तो हमेशा अच्छे लगते हैं.
अली इज वन ऑफ द बेस्ट प्रोडक्ट्स जो है बिजनेस स्कूल ने पैदा किया है. सो इनकी मार्केटिंग माशाल्लाह बहुत अच्छी.
आप आगे, आप शुरू आगे बढ़े.
नहीं, एंड आगे बढ़ने की बात यह है कि एक्चुअली इन कतर आई जस्ट गॉट द मैसेज दे डोंट हैव ए नेटवर्क राइट नाउ. सो इंक्लूड देयर प्रेजेंटेशन इन योर वीडियो for release, and let's move on to the last one, presentation by Asfahan about Delhi Association. Asfahan Khan is a person that who is in who has actually assembled all these global connect in the Mushaira, and so Asfahan is going to present the work of the Aligarh Alumni Association, or Aligarh Old Boys Association of Delhi. Asfahan, please.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, Abdullah bhai. I'm Asfanullah Khan. I live in Indiana, USA. Dr. Abdullah is working on bringing an AMU Alumni Association around the globe on one platform, and I'm honored to assist him in his effort. Purpose of this effort is to know as to what each organization is doing beyond Mushaira and Associated Dinner, and what can we do together. Let's see where we go with our effort. I have been asked to present activities of AMU Old Boys Association of Delhi NCR. AMU Old Boys Association of Delhi NCR is one of the most active organizations which has a much larger reach. What I'm presenting here was provided by Fasiullah Khan, President of Delhi NCR Association, who is in attendance also. Irfan, President of Kuwait Association is also in attendance. Activities of the association includes, but not limited to, carrying forward the mission and vision of Sir Sayyid Ahmad Khan by promoting education or establishing educational institution. Stimulate contacts with old boys, the students, and the staff of AMU Aligarh and its allied institutions. Protect, defend, and maintain the historical minority character of Aligarh Muslim University and its maintained institutions and all the centers. Coordinate with other Aligarh Muslim University Old Boys Associations, Alumnus Association, and as well as Alumni Association of other institutions. Provide ways and means of cultural and educational advancement of the Muslims of India in general and the weaker section of in particular. Assist financially as much as possible by means of educational loans, a scholarship, and other materials assistance. Extend help to dependent of old boys and other promising students in the matter of preparing for competitive examinations and to secure job. Establish a placement information center to help in obtaining jobs and admission seekers students from AMU Aligarh. Construct a building in Delhi and NCR for maintaining a better office of the association containing library and reading room. Take all possible steps and action within its affordability to strengthen the sovereign socialist secular democratic Republic of India. Value and preserve the rich heritage of our composite culture and promote international brotherhood. Strive towards excellence in all spheres of individual and collective activity so that the nation constantly rises to higher levels of endeavor and achievement. Enhance and promote the cause of humanity and universal brotherhood in India and abroad. Honor and award the reputed educationists, journalists, economists, politicians, doctors, engineers, social workers, religious scholars, and other members of civil society for their contribution to the society. Provide free legal aid to the victims of the communal rights and innocent prisoners in jail. Promote basic Islamic human values in individuals' life, health, and physical fitness, moral and spiritual education. Collaborate and organize programs with other institutions, associations, and non-governmental organizations working to achieve similar objectives. Honor the reputed person by giving Sir Syed Memorial Communal Harmony Award to the person of national and international importance. Create legal cells to provide free legal assistance to the needy and downtrodden section of the society, riot victims, destitute widows, and their family members. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Aswan. Thanks. Abdal.
Thank you very much, Abdullah Saab.
That ends the session. Now, the next item is Dastan Goi, right?
मैं बुला रहा हूँ एक मिनट.
उनको you introduce him and then you call him and.
बहुत शुक्रिया अब्दुल्ला भाई for the session of Aligarh movement around the globe. Now, inshallah, a larger audience.
I try to manage the time we lost, so
that's okay.
I hope.
So, inshallah, the global audience will know more about the Aligarh Alumni Associations, Old Boys Association around the globe, what they are doing, how they are doing, and everyone have put their website also. So please visit the websites of the alumni associations and see what their activities are. मैं शेर के साथ इसको खत्म करूं कि मशाले मीना से रोशन तेरा मैखाना रहे, मशाले मीना से रोशन तेरा मैखाना रहे, रहती दुनिया तक तेरा गर्दिश में पैमाना रहे. हाज़रीन, अब बढ़ते हैं इस प्रोग्राम के आखिरी मरहले में, जो बहुत ही जैसे कि हकीम रहमान साहब ने कहा कि हमारी रवायतों से भी ताल्लुक़ रखता है, हमारी तहजीबों से भी ताल्लुक़ रखता है, दास्तान गोई. और ये हमारे लिए बहुत ही खुशी और फ़ख्र की बात है कि हमारे अपने एक अलीगेरियन जावेद दानिश साहब माशाल्लाह इस फील्ड में काफ़ी होनहार हैं और उन्होंने अपने दास्तान गोई के जलवे पूरी दुनिया में जो है ज़ाहिर किए हैं. मैं बड़े अदब और एहतराम के साथ बिला किसी तकल्लुफ़ और ताख़ीर के दावत दूंगा जावेद दानिश साहब को. जावेद दानिश फ्रॉम टोरंटो, कनाडा.
सुन ले जावेद, आफरीन सुन लीजिए.
Khawatine Hazrat, Aligarh Biradari all over the world,
قبلہ
बड़ा जबरदस्त लगाया।
वीसी साहिब दास्तान गोई की इस महफिल में, बल्कि ट्रेलर में आप सबका खैर मकदम। जितनी देर बातें हुई हैं इससे ज्यादा देर की दास्तान गोई होती है, मगर मुझसे कहा गया था कि एक ट्रेलर दिखाया जाए, तो आपके सामने हाजिर हूं। मेरी जबीन अकीदत सलाम कहती। मैंने जब लिखना सीखा था पहले तेरा नाम लिखा था। बहुत मुख्तसर सा तारुफ है मेरा। न दर्दे दरू हूं न राजे नेहा हूं। किताबों में मुझको कहाँ ढूंढते हो, मैं चेहरों पे लिखी हुई दास्तां हूं। तो लीजिए पेश खिदमत दास्तान हिजरतों की। करूं पहले तौहीद यज़दान हम, झुका जिसके सजदे में अव्वल कलम। सरे लौह पर रख बयाज़ें जबी, कहा दूसरा कोई तुस्सा नहीं। सबों का वही दीन व ईमान है, ये दिल है तमाम और वही जान है। सबों का वही दीन व ईमान है, ये दिल है तमाम और वही जान है। किसी के बनाए न कुछ कामे जब, जो वो मेहरबां हो तो कुल मेहरबां। अगरचे यहाँ क्या है और क्या नहीं, पर उसमें तो कोई किसी का नहीं। कलम गोज़बां अपनी लावे हजार, लिखे किस तरह हमने परवरदिगार, लिखे किस तरह हमने परवरदिगार। तो गुल का शाना आरिज़े शाहिदे बयान इस तरह फरमाते हैं कि जो जानता है वो जिताता नहीं, और जो नहीं जानता वही जिताया करता है। यानी जो दिखता है वो होता नहीं, और जो नहीं दिखाई देता वही हुआ करता है। हजरात, दास्तान अमीर हमजा के सदक़े हर दौर और हर युग में और हर मौसम और हर खित्ते में और हर जबान व मकान के तहत सीना ब सीना रोज बरोज नित नई दास्तान सुनी जाएगी, सुनाई जाएगी। तो फिर न कहना हमें खबर न हुई कि इन सादत बजोर बाजू नीस्त ता न बख्शत खुदाए बख्शन। साहिबान कदरदान मेहरबान, आजकल मौसम खुशी का हो या महफिल गम की, लोग बस औरों की देखा देखी तालियां बजाने लगते हैं। हाँ, तो ये है कि इंटरनेट का जमाना है, लोग फेसबुक पर भी ताली बजाने से नहीं चूकते। हमारे यूपी का मुहावरा है कि जिसकी ताली पिटी समझो उसका पानी उतर गया, यानी इज्जत सादात गई। हम तो साहब शरफा की तरह पहले आप सुभान अल्लाह माशा अल्लाह और वाह वाह के आदि था कंगन को आरसी किया और पढ़े लिखे को फारसी किया। लो अमा अभी अभी बताया कि ऐसी वारदातों में वाह वाह किया करते हैं। रास्तों क्या हुए वो लोग जो आते जाते, रास्तों क्या हुए वो लोग जो आते जाते, मेरे आदाब पे कहते थे कि जीते रहे। रास्तों क्या, एक मिनट, कौन है भाई जो इतनी बेदर्दी से मुस्तकिल मुझे याद की जा रही है, बस बजाई जा रही है। मैं दुनिया को फोन बंद करने की तंबीह और तलकीन किए बैठा हूं, ये मेरी बेइज्जती खराब कर रही है। एक तो कमबख्ती के मारों ने इतने फोन निकाल दिए हैं। हाँ, हाय क्या जमाना था। अल्लाह गवाह है कि हमारे मोहल्ले के हर 5वें मकान में एक फोन हुआ करता था, और दादा हुजूर की इजाजत के बगैर अब्बा जान भी हलो 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 सुन रही हो यार, छुरी तले दम तो ले भाई, हलो। राशिद स्टेज पर दास्तान शुरू हो चुकी। क्या राशिद नहीं? कौन है भाई? जन्नत से? क्या मतलब जन्नत से कौन? वो क्या कहते हैं, टेम आ गया हमारा भी। अरे क्या नाम है आपका? मलकुल मौत खान साहिब। माना कि आप तमाम बड़े फनकारों को अक्सर स्टेज से ही उठा लिया करते हैं, अब मगर मैं इतना बड़ा फनकार भी नहीं। और देखिए आपकी जल्दबाजी में कुछ ऐसी वैसी बात हो गई ना तो पेड प्रोग्राम है, घर वालों को चेक भी नहीं मिलेगा। क्या वो नहीं हो? कौन है भाई? बुंदूखा? अब एक कौन बुंदूखा? खामखा एक शरीफ आदमी को नर्वस कर दिया। अब्दुल्ला हॉल वाला, अल्लाह से डरो, वो कब का हम सबों को शर्मिंदा करके सो कॉल पड़ोस की जन्नत चला गया। अल्लाह कसम हुई हो तुम यहाँ जन्नती खां, ये तो बताओ तुम भी पूरे हो? इन्ना लिल्लाहि व इन्ना इलैहि। मगर भाई तुझे जन्नत की इमिग्रेशन कैसे मिली? क्या जिसने अलीगढ़ के लॉन्डो को झेल लिया उससे कोई पूछताछ नहीं? भाई वाह बहुत खूब। तो मतलब साहब
علی ایرین حضرات جان کر خوش ہو لیں کہ مطلع صاف علی گڑھ کے نام پہ بخش دیے جائیں گے. بھائی سبحان اللہ. تو کیا حال جنت کا؟ مدھوالا ٹکرائیں گے کیا؟ سنجیدہ ہو جاؤں, سیریس. ٹھیک ہے صاحب. حضور اقدس جنت الفردوس میں کس کس سے شرف ملاقات حاصل ہوئی؟ بابا ملتے رہتے. کون بابا؟ ہمارے سر سید بابا. تم تو واقعی جنتی نکلا. کیا حال ہے بابا کے؟ وہ جنت کی ڈائٹ سے وزن کچھ کم, اور وہ داڑھی اب بھی وہی والہانہ اور ٹوپی عاشقانہ. ہائے مزہ آ گیا. کیا کہتے ہیں بابا؟ بابا آج کل بہت پریشان. ابے بڑھئی بابا کی اس دور میں پریشان نہیں تھے. کیوں؟ علی گڑھ کی دوسری برانچ جنت میں کھولنا ہے. نہیں, اب سارے شین قاف والے تو جنت جاتے نہیں, ضرورت تو پڑ سکتی ہے نہیں. اچھا یہ بات نہیں. پھر کیا بات؟ بابا کو فکر ہے کہ جنت جائے گا کون؟ کیوں؟ شیعہ سنی کو جہنمی, اور سنی شیعہ کو جہنمی, اور دیوبندی بریلوی کو, اور بریلوی دیوبندی کو, اور کالی ٹوپی والے پیلی ٹوپی والے کو, اور ہرے صافے والے سادے صافے والے کو, اور فلانا ڈھمکے کو, اور ڈھمکا فلانے کو. یعنی ہر کوئی ایک دوسرے کو جہنمی بتا دیا. بات میں دم ہے باس. تو بابا کیا کہتے ہیں؟ بابا کہتے ہیں دائی بن, مفتی نہ بن. ہائے بہت مفتی ہو گئے صاحب. ہمارے کینیڈا میں بھی بہت, آپ کے بھی ہوں گے. دائی بن, علم کی دعوت دے. علم ہوئے گا تو دین بھی ہوگا اور دنیا بھی. علم کا صدقہ جاریہ. بھائی واہ سبحان اللہ. کیا بات. کیا تو بھی پریشان؟ تخم تاثیر صحبت کا اثر. تجھے کیا پریشانی ہے بھائی؟ سنا ہے علی گڑھ میں ہاسٹل میں لونڈوں کو پہلے والی کٹی کی بریانی نہیں مل رہی. اچھا, بیگن کا بھرتا کھلایا جا رہی ہے قورمے کی جگہ. بڑی گرم ہوا چل رہی ہے صاحب. بڑی گرم ہوا چل رہی ہے دلی سے امریکہ تک. ہلو کٹوا دیا نا بھائی. کہا تھا ایسی باتیں نہ کرنا. ہائے اب فری میں اتنی دیر بات ہو سکتی تھی. واٹس ایپ ختم شو. ظالم نے کس کس کی یاد دلا دی. ارے مدھوبالا کی خیریت پوچھنی تھی, اور مرزا نوشر کا وہ شراب طہورہ والا معاملہ. ہائے ظالم. ہزاروں سال نرگس اپنی بے نوری پہ روتی ہے. بڑی مشکل سے ہوتا ہے چمن میں کوئی سید پیدا. ہائے بابا نے یونیورسٹی کیا بنائی, قوم کی قسمت بنا دی. مگر 100 برس ہو گئے, آدھی قوم ابھی بھی وہیں بیٹھی ہے, بلکہ لیٹی ہے جہاں بابا چھوڑ گئے تھے. ارے بھیا آپ تو اٹھ جاؤ. اے خدا بندہ, ہمارے سید بابا کو جنت کے 7th گریڈ کو اپ گریڈ کرتے رہنا. پتہ نہیں بابا نے کتنے جاوید کو دانش مند بنا دیا. راستوں کیا ہوئے وہ لوگ جو آتے جاتے. راستوں کیا ہوئے وہ لوگ جو آتے جاتے. میرے آداب پہ کہتے تھے کہ جیتے رہے. اس لمبی تمہید کے بعد آئیے تجسس و تحیر سے بھرپور ایک انوکھے اور انجانے سفر پہ آپ کو لیے چلتے ہیں. تو چل میرے پیادہ, بسم اللہ. حضرات, ہماری داستان میں نہ امیر حمزہ جیسی تراوٹ, نہ اس میں دلس میں ہو شربا کی چاشنی, نہ امرو یار کی یاری, نہ افراسیاب کی شاعری, نہ گل بکولی کے قصے, اور نہ لیلا مجنوں کا عشق. تو پھر آپ کہیں گے یا حیرت, بندہ خدا یہ داستان کیسی؟ حضور والا یہ الف لیلا نہیں, زندہ لوگوں کی داستان. یہ آپ کے اور ہماری طرف سانس لیتی اور جدوجہد کرتی تاریکین وطن کی داستان. یہ داستان ہے ہجرتوں کی, ہجرت کے تماشے. گھر سے نکلے ہوئے بیٹوں کا مقدر معلوم, گھر سے نکلے ہوئے بیٹوں کا مقدر معلوم. ماں کے قدموں میں بھی جنت نہیں ملنے والی. ہر نئی نسل کو ایک تازہ مدینے کی تلاش. صاحبوں, اب کوئی ہجرت نہیں ہونے والی. حضرات, ہجرت کے اس سفر میں میرے ساتھ میرے استاد نما دوست پروفیسر سرمدی, شاگرد پیشہ مہاجر, ڈاکٹر, شاعر, رائٹر, تندورچی, ٹیکسی ڈرائیور اور بھائی, یعنی بھانت بھانت کے لوگ شامل ہیں. آج آپ ان سب کی وپتا سنیں. تو میں یہ بتا رہا تھا کہ ہجرت صرف ایک شہر سے دوسرے شہر اور ایک ملک سے دوسرے ملک جسمانی طور پہ سفر کر لینے کو نہیں کہتے. یہ ایک ایسا تجربہ ہے جس میں دکھ اور سکھ دونوں شامل. بقول سرمدی، شکم کی آگ لیے پھر رہی ہے شہر در شہر. سگے زمانہ ہیں ہم کیا، ہماری ہجرت کیا. تو میں یہ بتا رہا تھا کہ ہجرت کے سفر میں جہاں ایک طرف خوشی، آسائش اور آزادی ملتی ہے، وہیں دوسری طرف دکھ، رنج اور آزمائشوں کا سلسلہ چلتا ہے. کچھ لوگ ان آزمائشوں سے گھبرا کر واپسی کا سوچتے ہیں، کچھ دو تہذیبوں کی چکی میں پستے رہتے ہیں، مگر کچھ انہی آزمائشوں کی بھٹی میں تپ کر کندن بن جاتے ہیں. یہ محض آپ کے استقلال اور میان روی پہ منحصر ہے. اگر آپ کا تجربہ کامیاب ہے تو یہ آئندہ آنے والی نسلوں کے لیے مشعل راہ ہوگا. جیسا کہ آپ جانتے ہیں، دنیا روز بروز سکڑتی جا رہی اور مہاجرت کا سلسلہ جاری ہے. مگر پروفیسر سرمدی ایک اور ہی منظر دکھا رہے ہیں. ہر چہرے پر موت کی پرچھائی پڑ رہی تھی اور پیشانی پر سیاہ بختی لگی تھی. ان لوگوں کو دیکھ کر مجھے تجسس ہوا. پوچھا، ہے لوگوں، سچ بتاؤ، تم وہی نہیں جو اس بستی کو دارالامان جان کر دور سے آئے اور یہاں بس گئے؟ لوگوں نے کہا، ہے شخص، تو نے ٹھیک پہچانا، ہم انہی خانہ برباد قبیلوں میں سے. میں نے پوچھا، خانہ بربادوں، دارالامان کو کیسا پایا؟ بولے، اللہ کی قسم، ہم نے اپنوں کے ظلم میں سب کی. یہ سن کر میں ہنسا. وہ میرے ہنسنے پہ حیران ہوئے. میں اور زور سے ہنسا، وہ اور حیران ہوئے، اور میں ہنستا چلا گیا اور وہ حیران ہوتے چلے گئے. پھر یہ خبر سارے شہر میں پھیل گئی کہ شہر افسوس میں ایک شخص وارد ہوا ہے جو ہنستا ہنستا دور سے چل کر آیا تھا. دور سے چل کر آیا تھا میں، ننگے پاؤں، ننگے سر میں گرد، زباں پر کانٹے، پاؤں میں چھالے. ہوش دیکھو، اتنا پیاسا تھا میں اس دن، اتنا پیاسا تھا میں اس دن جتنا چاہ کا مارا ہو. اور چاہ کا مارا وہ بھی کیسا، جس نے چاہ نہ دیکھی ہو. اتنے میں کیا دیکھا میں نے، ایک کنواں ہے ستھرا سا، جس کی بن ہے اونچی پکی، جس پہ چھاؤں ہے پیڑوں کی. کیسا گہرا، ایسا گہرا جیسے ہجر کی پہلی رات. اور کیسا اندھا، ایسا اندھا جیسے قبر کی پہلی رات. کنکر لے کر پھینکا تہنے، پانی کی آواز نہ آئی. اس کا من بھی پیاسا تھا. دور سے چل کر آیا تھا، ننگے پاؤں، ننگے سر. سنا تو یہ تھا کہ مزدور کا پسینہ گرنے سے پہلے اس کی اجرت چکا دی جائے، مگر دیکھا یہ کہ پسینہ گرنے سے پہلے مزدور کا پاسپورٹ ضبط کر دیا گیا. سنا تو یہ تھا کہ شاہراہیں سونے کی ہوا کرتی، مگر دیکھا یہ کہ ان راستوں پر برف چلی تھی اور کامیابی کے تیز گھوڑوں پہ سوار لوگ سر پر آگے کی سمت پھاکے جا رہے تھے، یہ جانے بغیر کہ کامیابی کی یہ سنہری شاہراہیں صرف آگے کو جاتی ہیں. ان پر یو ٹرن ممکن نہیں، کہ واپسی کے تمام راستے کھلے ہیں، لیکن ہم اپنی کشتی چلا چکے. کوئی باپ، اپن بہت دیر سے تیرا وہ کیا بولے شاعری سنے لائے، کیا اچھا بولتا ہے دلی والا. نہ لکھنؤ، کیا مغل اعظم ڈریس مارے لا باپ، ایک دم جھکاس. اپن ابو بکر باٹلی والا، بمبئی میں بھائی تھا بھائی، پر ادھر جب سے آئے ہے وہ تمہارا صرافت کا پاسپورٹ کا چکر میں سالا سب چھوڑ دیا. کیا اپنا ساتھ سب کشل منگل، اپنا تو ادھر وہ سبرتی بائی کے لیے آئے ہے. تو یہ سبرتی سنا اپنے سٹوری. مت ماری گئی تھی میاں، اللہ پاک کی قسم مت ماری گئی تھی جو یہاں آ گیا. اچھی بلی چپاتیاں پکا رہی تھا میرٹ میں، روز روز کے دنگے فساد سے پریشان ہو کر بمبئی آ گیا. ابھی بمبئی کا جادو سر چڑھ کر بول رہا تھا کہ ایک ایجنٹ نے کینیڈا کا ہرا باغ دکھایا، وہ کیا کہتے ہیں $1 کا $50. بس بیگم کے زیورات، زندگی بھر کی جمع پونجی، کھیت کھلیان سب بیچ کر یہاں آ گیا. پر ہوٹل کے مالکان جاٹ نکلے، میرا پاسپورٹ رکھ لیا. مہینے کے 1000-1200 دیتے ہیں، पर अल्लाह कसम मैं रोजाना 12 घंटे तनूर में झुलसता हूँ और झुलसता चला जा रही हूँ। देखते देखते साल 2 साल हवा हुए, घर वालों का मुंह नहीं देखा। इधर महीने भर से इख्तिलात सा हो रहा है। ऐसा लगता नहीं यार एक दिन जान की ये चिड़िया ठुर से उड़ जाएगी और घर वालों को खबर तक ना होगी। उधर एक नौबेयाता दुल्हन और मासूम बच्चा मेरी जान को से सकते हैं। इधर मालिकान कहते कि 5 साल से पहले जाने का संभाल लो, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट है कॉन्ट्रैक्ट। काई को परेशान होता है, अपन है ना तेरे साथ। ओ साहब क्या नाम बोले? जावेद। जावेद बोले तो भाई जावेद दानिश। ओए दानिश साहब अपना यार का स्टोरी ठीक करने मांगते हैं क्या? अभी हम देखते हैं सबको ही साला अपना लफड़ा सुनाता रहे, मेरे को भी अपना दुखड़ा सुनाने मांगते हैं क्या? परमिशन प्लीज, थैंक यू। अपन भी जब इधर आया था ना तो बहुत प्रॉब्लम था बाप। वो जोरू का, बच्चा का, पड़ोस का, अड़ोस का याद मेरे को बहुत डिस्टर्ब करता था बाप। बस अपना साला लगे रम में, पर ईमान से रम पी के भी साली जुलेखा की याद बहुत परेशान करती थी भाई। इधर अपने जैसा लोग के साथ बहुत जाती है बॉस, तुमको कुछ करने मांगते क्या? अब सब राती भाई मौलवी लोग हैं, दारू पिएगा नहीं तो तबीयत तो घबराएंगे ना क्या? कि इधर आ गया यार अपने लोग। बस अपने स्टोरी खलास, थैंक यू। सूरज सवाने से और खोपड़ियां हड्डियों की तरह पकड़। अच्छे रहे वो जो इस वबाल से निजात पा गए। मैं भी अपना सर वहीं छोड़ा था तो आफियत में रहता। वो जो सर में मगज रखते हैं मुश्किल में, और जो सर में मगज और मुंह में जबान रखते हैं मजीद मुश्किल में। वालासरे इन्नल इंसान लफी खुस्र। पहलवान अबू बकर, मेरी उल्टी खोपड़ी में इतनी सी बात नहीं समारी कि जब ये लोग इतने काबिल हैं और इतनी मोटी मोटी बातें कर सकते हैं तो कमबख्ती के मारों ने वतन क्यों छोड़ा है? मैं तो बस हरियाणी के दरिया में गोते लगा रही हूँ। ये सब अपने को नहीं सोचने का क्या? काय को खाली खुली नारियल फिराता है यार, देख कौन आए। बैनर्जी बाबू আসুন আসুন, অনেক দিন পরে দেখা হয়েছে, বসুন তো, আপনার সঙ্গে একটু পরে কথা হবে। हजरात, बैनर्जी बाबू दरअसल हमारे दोस्त डॉक्टर शंकर बैनर्जी हिजरत की सजा काट रहे, टैक्सी चलाते हैं मगर मायूस बिल्कुल नहीं, शायरी उर्दू की बहुत पसंद करते हैं। কি দাদা কি খবর বলুন তো? ও যে আপনি একটা গজল পড়লেন সেদিন, फात्तुर का नगर देखा, ওটা একটু শোনা। तो आप पत्थर का नगर सुनने आए, लीजिए साहब बैनर्जी बाबू के लिए। ये शहर तमन्ना तो एक शहर है पत्थर का, फिर शहर तमन्ना से क्यों रखते हो उम्मीद? या रस्म भी पत्थर की, उम्मीदें हैं पत्थर की, या फूल भी पत्थर के, कांटे भी हैं पथरीले। या अर्श तो था पत्थर और फर्श भी पथरीले, माएँ भी है पत्थर की, औलाद भी पथरीले। और पत्थर का नगर देखा, पत्थर का नगर देखा, पत्थर का जिगर देखा, मेकअप का कोहर लेकर रुखसार भी पथरीले। और मशरिक से तो घबराए, मशरिक से तो घबराए, मगरिब से यूं ललचाए, आने को यहाँ आए और आके भी पछताए। मशरिक से तो घबराए, मगरिब से यूं ललचाए, आने को यहाँ आए और आके भी पछताए। अब वक्त ये कहता है आगे ही बढ़े जाओ, अब वक्त ये कहता है आगे ही बढ़े जाओ, पीछे जो कभी देखा हो जाओगे पत्थर।
बहुत खूब जावेद दानिश साहब, बहुत खूब, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। इस गैरत
रात ये तो था दास्तान हिजरतों की का ट्रेलर, उसकी पूरी सीरियल जो है इंशाअल्लाह कैनेडी हॉल में आप लोगों को दिखाई जाएगी
इंशाअल्लाह।
She's upset that Trump lost.
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया जावेद दानिश।
They didn't engage her. She's talking to other people in her backyard.
Yeah, and also.
Yeah.
Hello. Okay. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया जावेद दानिश साहब। इस गैरत नाहीद की हर तान है दीपक, इस गैरत नाहीद की हर तान है दीपक, शोला सा लपक जाए है आवाज़ तो देखो। खैर आवाज़ के साथ अंदाज भी माशाल्लाह, और उसके साथ मुझे कहने की ज़्यादा ज़रूरत नहीं है। आइए हम इस प्रोग्राम के आखिरी मरहले की तरफ बढ़ रहे हैं, और मैं हमारे प्रेसिडेंट डायरेक्टर डॉक्टर मोहम्मद अकबर साहब से दरख्वास्त करूँगा कि उसका शुक्रिया, सबका शुक्रिया अदा कर दें। और मैं लोगों को बताता चलूँ, इसके बाद यूनिवर्सिटी का तराना होगा, फिर हम इस प्रोग्राम को अख्ताम पर लाएंगे। तो डॉक्टर मोहम्मद अकबर साहब।
Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Muhammad Akbar, President-elect. On behalf of Aligarh Alumni Association, Washington, D.C., it is my privilege and honor to thank you all for joining us in celebrating this Aligarh Muslim University Centennial Inaugural Function, especially to our distinguished guests. First, from the Asif Farooqi, Mr. Asif Farooqi, from the Office of the Chancellor, Dr. Sayyidina Mufaddal Sid Saifuddin Sahab, and Professor Tariq Manzoor, Professor Zillur Rahman, Professor Ishtiaq Zeli, Professor Sufyan Beg, Professor A.R. Kidwai, and Dr. Frank Islam, who joined us despite their busy schedule and late night time from India. Thanks are due to Mr. Javed Danish for demonstrating the art of storytelling that was very entertaining. At last but not least, I thank Dr. Abdullah and Mr. Masood Farshori and the representatives of all AMU alumni and old boys associations for enlightening us with the activities of each association. Thank you all. Please stay tuned for the Aligarh Tarana.
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया, बहुत शुक्रिया अकबर भाई। मैं एक बार हेलो, मैं कर रहा हूँ। बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आप सभी हजरात का, और आप सभी लोगों से दरख्वास्त है कि इंशाल्लाह अगले हफ्तों में भी हर शनिचर को इंशाल्लाह अगले 4 हफ्तों तक 11:30 बजे इसी वक्त जो है हम कुछ ना कुछ सेशन प्रोग्राम करेंगे। तो आप सभी से दरख्वास्त है कि आप उसमें शिरकत करें। इंशाल्लाह फ्लायर और लिंक जो है वो आपसे शेयर किया जाएगा। एक बार फिर अपनी जानिब से अलीगढ़ अलुमनाई एसोसिएशन वाशिंगटन DC की जानिब से बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। अस्सलाम वालेकुम।